It's episode 647 of the Working Class Bowhunter podcast. Eric, good to see you.
Good to see you too, Kurt.
Looking good.
Looking good. You're looking good.
Thanks, man. That means a lot. Doug, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. You guys look good.
Thanks, man. We do look good.
Yep, we look good.
Yeah, you do.
How you doing? Deep down. Really, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay, I guess.
Just okay?
No one told me I look good, so
We're glad you're here.
glad to be here.
Glad you made it.
What's up with all this hate on the internet about you?
I don't know. I feel like I've done nothing wrong.
It's a good segue to this week's episode. Grant,
What's up?
thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Welcome to the WCB studio.
Thanks for having me.
If you add an S on studio, like WCB Studios, it sounds way fancier.
Pinky
Like
out.
we have two.
Technically
Ooh, you do.
we do, but it's just a building next door. It's not really a studio. But thanks for being here, man. How the hell did you get here?
Yeah. So I started listening to you guys. I think the first time I started listening to you guys was when you had Deer Drone Recovery in. Like somebody shared that with me, and I thought it was a pretty cool.
A couple years ago.
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe
year
like
and
year and a
change
half
ago.
ago.
Yeah.
So I started listening then, but like I listen to podcasts all the time, and like when I first started listening to podcasts, like Wired to Hunt was like one of the first ones. I mean, you guys were right there too, but
Yep.
I hadn't found you then.
He
right?
was rated E for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were like just rated for the degenerates, really.
Yeah.
We were shoved in the back.
Yeah, that's all right.
But
We deserve
I
it.
was like super focused on like tips, tactical stuff. And like I searched through, like look for hunting podcasts, and I found you guys, and I listened to one, and I was like, for whatever reason, I wasn't interested. I don't know what the podcast was, or at that time I was just like
Fair game.
all business, didn't want to listen to your guys' style.
You didn't like fun.
You didn't like
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah,
fun
I was super focused on like I
get it.
want to kill a big deer.
You're
right?
hungry for knowledge.
Yeah, and just learning like crazy. And then, I don't know, like after I listened to the Deer Drone one, at that point in my life, so now that's, I don't know, 5-6 years later, dude, I'm getting so burnt out on all these. It's like, this is how you kill a buck in the rut. Or like, I get to a stage where I just get tired of people's bullshit. You know what I mean? Like you've tried enough things.
It's too much.
I tried everything, right? Like, and no matter, like, okay, I listened to a podcast where this guy talked about deer being curious, and he had a 5-gallon bucket. It had diesel fuel in it, and he's like set out in the field, and the deer went out and was curious. That's like, I would try shit. I didn't try that exactly, but like putting something random in the field to deer. I tried it all and see what worked for me. And you just get to a point where like you've tried it, you've seen it, and now you hear these guys talking to you like either that doesn't work for me or they're just spewing bullshit. So
Okay,
now
so let's-
I'm looking at like I come to you guys and I'm like I just listen to it and I'm like I like the banter. I like entertainment more. I'm looking for that. Not that you guys don't give tips and stuff. Not that you can't learn stuff, but that's not what I'm here for when I'm listening to you guys, right? So
Yeah, that's fair.
So I mean that's kind of how I found you guys.
For sure. All right, so let's take a break then, just for a second. I don't mean to cut you off, but so we're angling at the perspective here at the start of this episode. So in case I just want to lay it out in case someone's like, "What's going on?" You're coming to us on the podcast with a consumer of content perspective, like an inside.
Okay, I wanted to be an influencer. I had a page with a shit ton of followers. I think it's fucking stupid now.
Okay.
I quit
right.
all social media, and I'm here to say why I think social media is killing hunting.
So you think the internet sucks?
The internet sucks.
I
dick.
just followed you back. Weird.
You have a blue check mark on your page?
No,
Okay, just checking.
you have a page.
It'd be funny if you're like, yeah.
maybe I don't know.
You do.
Probably not. I did get blacklisted on some Facebook pages. I did a podcast with Matt Ranella, and I went out. I was trying to sell some saddle gear, and I went to look for this page, and I was like, "What the fuck? Why can't I sell anything on it?" I was just on so I had my buddy look it up, and it still existed. Somehow I got deleted from it. I don't know. Like, so maybe I have hate people out there. I'm not sure.
So you did Matt Ranella's podcast, and his is what's his podcast?
I don't know. To Matt Ranella.
It's
Hunt Quietly.
Yeah, okay, yes, because his whole thing. Maybe I'm wrong on this, because Steve obviously is who Steve Ranella is, the meat eater. Matt Riddell is the opposite. He's like anti-internet, kind of like maybe some similar perspectives that you have. And then I don't really know what else he's anti.
I mean, so yeah. So like the first time I get into a bunch of this shit, but like the first time I started thinking about this and just thinking differently, he was on their podcast like around Christmas time. He was on the media one, and he came on to share a few views, and his view wasn't very strong at that time. They kind of ambushed him, but it just made me think about things differently. Mm-hmm. And then I went on a shed hunting trip to the mountains out west, and like that. This sounds really. I'm confident in saying it now, but it seemed really weird to say for a while. That was a life-changing trip, going to the mountains. I don't know if you guys experienced that when you're out there, but it was like life-changing. And having kids, thought about shit completely differently. And I don't agree with everything Matt says, but I like a lot of his ideas and thoughts. And basically, he thinks you should hunt for hide, horns, and meat. And he believes that access is being taken away from, he has a lot of beliefs, I guess, but he thinks access is being taken away from people that want to just shoot big animals and for the fame, the glory, and people just hunt. And only reason people hunt is because so they can post shit on Instagram.
So they can be famous on the internet for whatever they're doing. Yeah.
I see
Okay.
that.
Interesting. There's a lot to unpack there, which we'll unpack. Okay. So you kind of you got in. All right. So a lot of people get sucked into the influencer, look at me on Instagram game. We've seen tons of people come and go with that. A lot of people realize it's a lot of work and then it doesn't pan out how they thought, or hunting, I think, is actually harder than they thought it would be, and whatever. And then they go, but you were just like, this is stupid.
Well,
Everything's stupid. I hate the internet.
Control delete.
I mean, the journey's a little bit longer than that, but so I started. Well, first of all, same age as you guys. We grew up in like the era where we get to see everything from technology, right?
Yeah.
So we see no internet, dial-up internet, flip phones. Like when I went through college, I had Blackberries were out, right?
Yeah, those were the nice ones, yeah.
And you couldn't even have like an iPad, like the wireless internet. Like that wasn't a thing. You had to be tapped into the internet somewhere at a computer in a library or some shit, right? Like that's how you got it, right? And so like where it is now, we're seeing all the steps, right? And so like in 2016, I think is when I started a Facebook or an Instagram page. And Instagram before that to me was like a chick thing, right? Like
I remember having that feeling as well.
Yeah, like I didn't like take pictures. Like though I look back at like memories on Facebook and shit when it pops up, and it's like, dude, what the fuck were we doing? Typing this shit, right?
Just the era, dude.
It's different, right?
Yeah, everyone will do that all the time, no matter what.
Right.
That was just Facebook though. Like you just kind of did what you
That's
wanted.
just living, dude. That's you show your parents look at photos of them 30 years ago. They're gonna be like, what the fuck?
On a Polaroid, and they're like, what the
it's
hell?
the same thing, just different because of the
Yeah.
time,
Yeah. So that I finally got on Instagram, and what I was following hunting pages, and there was no like algorithm at that time. Like Instagram at that time was pretty pure. It was like you post something, it's like all chronological, and there was like a bunch of brands starting, and they were selling like hats and shirts, and like I was at that time. I was really into. I got a dog, and I was really into dog training, and I was like learning as much as possible about dog training. I wasn't really into deer hunting yet, and I was like, dude, I want to start my own brand. I'm gonna sell some hats and shirts, and so I started like building followers, and like what I would do is I would post some of my stuff, and then people would send pictures, and I would post their stuff. And so I did that for a couple of years. I built the brand up. I had shirts and hats, and I was like, I never made any money on it, like breaking even by the end of it, but I was selling all kinds of shit, like 10 plus orders a week, like it was going good. And the January 1st, 2018 hits. I think I don't know if Facebook already owned it there or not, but all of a sudden overnight, they flipped to this thing where like they want you to pay to play type stuff, like pay to advertise. You had to follow these algorithms. And like I'd started a new job at that time, and it was just like, I don't have time for this shit. And so just kind of that part of it dissolved. My whole goal wasn't even really start a brand. My whole goal was to get free shit. Get like, that was my goal, free shit. Not even discount. I wanted like free. I'll pimp your gear. I'll take pictures of it. Like, right. So like, from the perspective you guys had about the same time growing up, like now I think back, that was pretty gay, right? But but at the time, like that was a thing. Like pros, like there was a time when pro staff meant something.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, I know what you're saying, but it was the era of it though.
Yeah.
So it's like now it's super gay for sure. But then it wasn't.
Right.
Because, like that time, well,
if you're a pro staff, that actually meant something.
well, that's what, when we had David and Warren Holder in,
Yep.
David Holder breaks down, he got approached by call companies because he's killing elk, actually doing work. He got a job offer as a pro staff member, or if not that, at least sponsored to do appearances and free calls, and he became a known figure because of pro staff position for doing real shit.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely an evolution from what it is today, but it was the era though. So it wasn't, now it looks gay, I guess what you're saying,
Well,
but it was not too far off from the era. So,
but influencers were just becoming a thing at that point in time too.
Yeah.
Like now, you think that was 5-6 years ago. Now it seems wild to think about, but at that time, I was like, I'll be an influencer. Like, I can be your Doug.
I'm here, Doug.
yeah,
I'm not an influencer. What the hell?
You are
technically
now.
we are.
Fuck.
But I got there's
like I said.
we can unpack that though, because it's not like we'll get into it. I'll let you make
Yeah.
it.
So I want to do that, and they get to the point where I dissolve like the brand. Right now, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be I don't know where it's gonna take me. I'm still getting like you name it, major name brands. I'm not
So
getting
this is all
free
like
stuff.
dog related stuff.
Well, then it's and some of it crossed over, right? Like there's some brands that cross over to like from like duck hunting and deer hunting stuff. So that I could buy all kinds. So I would still take and share stuff about me hunting, whatever I was hunting, or anything outdoors, fishing, everything. And I got to a point where like, so obviously I lost. So let me go back. As soon as they changed that on January 1st, 2018, my sales went from like 10 a week to like none. All traffic to my website dropped. I went from getting like 10,000 to 20,000 views on a photo to like 500 overnight, just like that. So it was like, at that point in time, I was like, fuck it. I don't care this much about this. I'm just going to keep riding this out. And I changed like more of a personal brand. So I stole some followers and from my previous brand, it just became me, and it kept growing a little bit. And I would get different deals with company, and I always approached them. Like that's how, just like I approached you to say, hey, I want to be on this podcast and talk about some.
By the way,
stuff.
thanks for saying that, because I think people think that we don't do that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People are like, you should get some real working class guys. I'm like, well, bitch, we are, but we can't just get.
We're on it.
Well,
you're here.
in the
I'm
listener's
not saying-
defense, I did have to ask you multiple times. Because the first time, like, this guy's kind of fucking weird. I don't.
Well, you got to understand how many emails I got to whiff through. But did you email me twice?
Well, yeah. So I did once, and you're like, it wasn't the right timing or whatever. And then I was like, I don't give a shit, right? Like,
He's like, fuck them guys. I'm never listening again.
Well, I just wasn't that passionate about sharing this. And then like something else hit. There was a video. You guys remember the Heartland Bow Hunter video where it's like slow motion, where the arrow hits it and just blood explodes. This was like in the fall, I think.
I don't remember the video, but I don't think anyway.
But okay, so anyways, like that just triggered me back. Like, dude, I need to talk about this again, because that like posting that to me is dumber than hell.
Okay,
so let me take it back. I'm all over the place here already, but I'll take it back a little bit. So it becomes a personal brand, right? And then like, I don't know, COVID comes and election shit, and I don't give a shit anymore. I just start posting like, or sharing stuff that isn't mainstream media, right? Whether it's about Trump or that I'm not taking the fucking vaccine.
You were sharing stuff like that?
Yeah, I would just share that shit. Like, and there's a lot of learnings from all this that we'll go through. But I just saw that like, now I'm being like zero traffic anywhere, right? Like anything to do with hunting or supporting the right. Yeah, you were just like, so at that point, I stopped caring as much.
At that point, you're like, what is the point?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, and I just wasn't as interested in as much anymore. So then it's got to a point, and I heard that podcast from Matt, and it just made me think a lot more. I visited the mountains, it made me think a lot more. And I don't know if it was just like, my wife would give me shit like she would say about hunting, like, you're only out there to do this for, so you can post shit on Instagram and stuff, but that wasn't it. Like, it's I don't know about you guys. It's kind of hard to like explain why I want to hunt to somebody that doesn't hunt. Like, there's like a lot to put into that, and even to my wife, right?
Well, I think it's as simple as this: it's fucking fun, and I like to do it. Why do some people like to knit fucking blankets?
Yeah,
that's gay as fuck, but you enjoy it. You know what I'm saying?
I like killing deer. Leave me alone.
You know what I mean? It's that simple.
your fucking
Unapologetically,
blanket.
it's like,
Shut up.
I like hunting.
But-
Shooting shit's fucking fun.
Sure, but it's deeper than that too.
It can be.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
but
but and it all is to us. But again, you're saying it from a very simple standpoint.
if I just ran into someone, why you like to hunt?
Sure.
It's fucking fun.
Sure.
Why do you like to jaywalk,
But-
faggot? Where are you going? You know,
He's a crosswalk asshole.
you know what I mean? It's like,
But if you're sharing this with like your wife or somebody, right? Like I'm sure there's a lot of shit you say to your wife, Kurt, that you ain't gonna tell us.
no, honestly, I'm pretty legit. I'm open, dude. Like, you know, but she knows what I like to
Sure.
hunt because it's not, you know.
Okay, so
we'll
maybe not
unpack
you,
this,
but Doug's text messages, he's not sharing with us.
that's probably true.
Hell no.
He's not really telling us how many children he actually has.
4.
Zero.
We can, this is a topic we can unpack in a little bit, but revisit. It's for me personally, and you guys, Doug and Eric, can speak on your own terms too. But I've been hunting since I was 10, so it's not, and that's before you know what it was like in 2000.
Yeah.
I didn't have a phone.
Nothing.
I didn't have the internet. It was me and my dad going, and I have an ingrained passion from spending time
yeah.
with my
Yeah,
old man.
I'll meet you when we get back to the truck. I'll meet you at the truck.
Yeah, I'm cold.
That's how you
I'm
knew.
cold and I'm
Yeah.
I'm miserable, but somehow I still want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm 10. So I think different perspective if you start that than if you started in 2016 deer hunting or bow hunting or the internet, whatever, right? So we can unpack that a little bit.
Were we like the last traditional hunters?
Could be. Or gonna be someday.
Kinda. I
Yeah,
mean,
our
without
generation
all
would be-
the cell
yeah.
phones and bullshit.
well, it's like you said, you know, we're the unique, we're the gap, right?
Yep.
We're the gap generation that like
Saw everything.
grew up with the evolution of like what is
up-
the modern day computer.
Grew up with it and without it.
Yeah. So there's a lot to unpack there that I think is a good conversation to come back to. But sorry, just we were talking about interest, like to explain to somebody, and I for comedic relief. said
You
the
want to
word
know
faggot.
the other wild thing is I still have all these deals. These companies. I haven't posted anything in like I don't know. It's in 2021, a few years. I don't even know what year it was, but a few years ago, right? I haven't posted anything. I still get all these deals with them. I don't know. I don't do anything.
like free stuff.
badass.
or-
Not free stuff. Dude, here's a misconception. Anybody listening, you don't just. So there's not a lot of money in the hunting industry in general. That was a part of the other reason I learned too. And this is like, you're not getting rich. There's a few people that are going to get fucking rich. And then there's a lot of people that are just going to scrape by and they're going to bust ass.
Make it seem like they're rich.
Yeah, and there's a shitload. They live with their fucking parents and they act like they're because they have some followers, whatever, right? But there's not. To me, it's not enough money to leave my job and go full time. Like, dude, a lot of respect to you, right? You quit your job completely, you go headfirst into this. I don't know how the fuck you make money doing this. Obviously, you do because it works, right? But like, what I've found out is there's very, very few people that make it, right? They're out there like taking photos at weddings and videos there, like, and then, but to everybody else on social media, they're making it big, shooting big deer. That's not the case.
There's a lot of side quests this conversation is going, and I don't know how to navigate it. But all right, let's take that. I guess. Well, should we just take it in stride and let's just branch off on it? I
Let it
felt
roll.
like you were getting to a point, and we keep going on side quests.
We'll get back to it.
Okay.
I'm good with it.
Side quest.
So the side
I'm
quest
gonna
with
take
that
you
is-
all over the place, and I'm okay with
We've
that.
already been
Okay,
there.
so fuck the structure. We'll just talk.
Yeah, let's just talk.
I thought you were getting to a big point, and then we were going to do
might.
it. is
It'll
what
be
I-
there.
Okay, so we'll just get there when we get there.
I don't think anyone really knows.
The whole doing it for a
We'll get through
living.
this, guys.
I agree kind of to what you're saying. It depends on the person. Let's take Mark Drury for example. I know Mark well. I've seen him conduct business behind the scenes. If you think all Mark Drury does is just go hunting on TV,
And that's it.
you're out of your goddamn mind. It looks people only see the cool shit.
Yeah.
And they only see shit they want to see actually. Like if someone wanted to really like dig into like Mark's business management practices and everything he's got going on besides killing monster deer, if you really broke down and saw how he navigates his day to day and his businesses and manages employees and manages farms and all this stuff, I don't think anybody would want it. Because I think Jordan and I just talked about this today, leaving Turkey Woods. Most people are just genuinely like lazy at a base, right? Not everybody, but on an average. So all right, simple as this. You take any guy who's going to hate us on the internet, which is, or in general, and internet specifically, you know, because topic of the episode, but okay, you want to do WCB for a living. Do 10 weeks of trade shows in a row, away from your family, away from your kids. Your wife's bitching, your kids are wondering why you're gone. Okay, then come back, and then you got to make hunting content, which is great. That's the fun part. Okay, take the time off, go on the hunts, away from your family, make the plans, schedule episodes twice a week, get in-studio guests more than us in the hunting world. I don't think anybody's doing it. Plan a trip to Africa, buy your flight, do this, try to get business insurance, pay for insurance out of pocket, pay payroll tax,
get merch out.
Get merch, buy the merch, pay for the website to shipping, buy your trademark, have a trademark attorney, have insurance on all that shit, build a building, remodel the building, pay for all the building. And it's like, there's all this that goes into this behind the scenes, but people just see us drinking a beer and shooting the
fun,
shit.
Yeah.
And that's like, you know, I could keep going as I think of stuff, and I could write you a list or whatever. But I think most people just see like, we went on a trip, and I'm not saying that there's other people that aren't willing to do it, but I think people just see Mark Drury sitting behind a 200-inch deer that he killed, and they think that's all he has to worry about. And that's so far from the truth. Like, we're at Greg Ritz's place this morning and last night, and that dude is on the road. What'd he say? 260 days out of the year, he's traveling away from his family. Now, that's a dream job for some people, but how many people really are? How many people have the work ethic to get there, the self-motivation, the ability, and the willingness to do that? Even though it's shit.
None.
Yeah, even though it's shit that is cool, but how many people are willing to do it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you take that, if you if everyone was honestly truthful, if you took that and just started deleting people, the hill that there's going to be very few people on top of the hill that are like, I will actually do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, that was something I was not willing to do. Like, I make good money, and like that, I know what it would have taken to get there. Right. Like,
yeah,
everything I've ever done in my life, I've gotten through hard work. Like, I'm not like, you name it. Right. Well, like, through athletics, like, you guys see me. Do I look like a college athlete? Fuck no. Look at me.
You're better
Look at me, Doug.
You're a baseball player.
You look like you could run fast.
Yeah, run fast. Yeah. So
You
like,
played baseball?
Yeah, I played baseball, right? So
With a name like Grant, we all knew you did.
yeah. So like, and I was a pitcher. Okay, like, do I look like I can throw hard? Probably not, right? I got it through hard work. Like, we talked about being engineers, Doug. Like, I wasn't smart.
Yeah,
like,
school fucking sucks.
I tried my ass off to get through there, right? Like, everything has been through that, and I knew what it was gonna take to do this. And I'm like, dude, to me, it wasn't worth it. So anybody that's thinking like, oh, I want to be an influencer, there's a lot. I'm gonna get rich off this. Like, they're looking at maybe people that are influencers in other areas, not hunting. Right?
Yeah, I think that too. But I also think, you know, all right, so talking about that too, you know, we talked about the guys that are doing the hard work that are, you know, on top of that hill, right? And I think the internet sees that, and they see the glamour side, and they try to like just capture the glamour side without the hard work, like the brand deals, the sponsorships, all this stuff, without understanding that it's actually, you have to like form a business to run it on the back end. But then also, you know, those two people on that hill and on like the Mark Drury, Greg Ritz, I mean, Waddell, you name it, like the guys who've obviously, their personalities,
The top dogs.
but there's also a lot of guys who aren't personalities that are on that same hill with them, that are busting their ass, that work in the industry, but you just don't see them on TV, right? But it can get confused seeing the Instagram hunter and the Michael Waddell, and you can put them in the same bucket. And in my opinion, that's wrong, because it's two different buckets,
Two different realms, dude.
and you know, I don't know where that conversation rolls from there, but it's clearly different buckets, and I don't think people realize it. And it's just, I mean, there's a lot of ways we could side quest off of that too, but
Yeah, so,
should hit that.
It all comes down to like it's hard work. It's not just like, hey, I'm gonna post pictures today,
Yeah.
and make 1 million
Yeah.
followers. You know, like even those influencers, they're working their asses off to be where they're at.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And that was just something where I was like, you know what? Not interested. Right. And so I stop posting stuff on there and just make like what I saw with that is like, I deleted the apps. Okay. And part of my realization wasn't like all right, Matt Ranella. There was a lot of shit that was going on in my head of this. One of it is like, what a waste of time we spend. I heard the term on here, doomscrolling, right? Just, it'd be like we watch TV with my wife. It'd be like 10 o'clock. She's there. I'm going to bed. And next thing you know, it's 11 o'clock. The TV's off. I've been doomscrolling pointless shit on the internet, right?
And you didn't realize the TV was off.
Yeah. Like, why? Right? Like,
100%.
Like, I could be doing so much more things in my life. So then, like, I was like, all right, I got to, like, step away from this a little bit, right? I got small kids. Like, I need, like, how many times when you stop and you look around at people, like, how many times people just pull out their phone just because they don't know what to say in a conversation? They're bored. They're just attached to it.
Everybody's time.
I got a question. Does your guys' iPhone give you the screen time every week?
Yeah.
Like your screen, mine gives you, hey, your screen time went up this week or went down this week percentage-wise, and it kills me every week.
I don't like that, though, because, all right, here's an argument from my from my angle on that. I think if it was screen time while with family or friends, for me, that would be different. But when I'm on here, like before you guys got here, before our first episode, I was washing my hands and shit. And I'm like, hey, Doug, remember this? And I'm on my phone and I got reels playing and stuff that promotes our business for the necessary evil of social platforms. So my screen time, I guaranteed, is quadruple, maybe more, what all your guys' is. Because if I'm doing something here, I got my phone here and I'm Bluetoothing clips from my computer to my phone and scheduling it. So I don't have that on because it's part of the work.
Yeah.
Right.
But if it was like your screen time while with friends and family or after from 3 to 10 o'clock, 3 p.m. to 10 p.m.,
right.
you know, then I would.
But some people can't separate that, right?
I have a hard time doing it.
It's okay, like social, and so one is your problem's your phone. What I did is I just deleted the apps, right? Like that was a huge difference. If you got to use browser to go onto Facebook or Instagram, it sucks, right? It's not convenient.
It sucks.
And I signed myself out, so I have to sign back in, right? So I delete the apps, delete all notifications come on my phone, and then you just see the shit where people are just glued to their phones. But like social media, it's a drug that we don't know as humans how to handle yet, right? Like
it's new, really.
and we're giving it to kids at young ages. Yeah, it's new. We don't know how to handle it, right? Like, so in your point, like if you're doing it for business, that's one thing, but people can't separate that, right?
It's tough.
They just as soon give their kid an iPad or whatever and just, you know, we know this, right? There's times where you're like with your children, and I do it too sometimes. There's like, okay, I need you to just sit there, call, here's whatever, right? Here's the iPad, go for it. But parents do that as that's how they parent kids now.
Yeah.
There's some people who do it. You do what you want to do, but I'm just saying my experience in all of this is that like when I stepped away from that, I realized that there's so much, like I should be reading a book and learning something where like I could start my own business, and the time that I spent dicking around doing this, I could have started something, and maybe that it could have been an influencer thing, but like whatever, right? It could have been something else that I wasn't wasting my time on.
Yeah, for sure. I think, it's all good points. All true points, you know. I think
I sat around eating crayons when I was a kid, you know.
Dude, I just huff permanent markers.
What was your favorite color?
Green.
Oh yeah,
grass flavored. I love that one. Yeah, it's I think where we're fortunate with WCB and even before is like social media formed when we were late teens, really, and then.
Remember how often, like, you just fought off Facebook? Like, I didn't get Facebook till
I thought it was
senior
just
in high school.
strictly for college kids for the longest time.
You had to have a .edu.
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, that's how it all originally started. I remember waiting for my college email to come in to say like now you can join. Yeah, at one point in time you had to have it had to be .edu on it.
Oh, no kidding.
Kid.
Man, they should go back
I think
to
I
that.
joined in like 09.
Yeah, and this was probably like 08, right? So they changed it because then they're just trying to grow their business. They wanted your grandma and grandpa to be
Well, they saw what
on there,
MySpace did.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
probably, you know.
Well, yeah, they took that over. But I mean, it's just like how social media can just completely fuck with everything, right? With your brain and how they feed you with algorithms and like just pushing everything to one side, or, you know, whatever that thing you're is, it just keeps pushing and pushing and pushing to keep you in that screen time.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think too, just to finish my point real quick before, we're fortunate enough to have passions and then have this roll in and already have the passion and then found our space of passion within this new internet era. Nowadays, it'd be tough if you didn't already have a passion and Facebook is around not letting you find a passion, or Instagram or TikTok where all you want to do is be addicted to your phone and sit on the couch as a fat little kid, and you don't want to go play baseball, you don't want to go ride your bike, you don't want to go play kickball, you don't want to fucking make fun of kids, which needs to happen again. And like, unfortunately, but it does. But so it'd be different then. It would suck to try to learn how to hunt at 10 years old when I can sit at home and watch fucking hot chicks on TikTok. You know what I mean? Like,
boobs.
It would have been way harder to be like, let's go sit in the woods with no iPad or I didn't have that, you know,
and drink beer.
Well, when you were 10,
Eric, what the hell?
well, maybe I started drinking Busch Light. I was 13 probably, but you know what I mean though? Like it'd be way harder to want to do that when you have this 6-second or whatever they were when it's, or you know, like a Vine.
And like video games where they are now too. Like it'd be hard to get kids out there.
But let's change a little bit of the conversation flow here, because
But it's also a good thing.
internet's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Like, dude, what has it done? The internet created podcasting.
Sure, we just don't know as humans how to deal with both of them at the same time, right? Like, if it can be healthy if you can take care of it, just like drinking beer, right? We know when I got here, you guys weren't fucking slamming beers, right? Because you had shit to do during the day.
Well, we know what it's like to drink 20 of those and try to get up and go turkey hunt.
Right. So,
we've done it.
But as humans, social media, you wake up in the morning, you pick up your phone, you start
check your
digging
phone
into
right
it.
away.
Yeah.
Right. Like middle of the night, like people, like they don't know how. Think about if you did that with you get carried around a 12-pack with you all the time. Right?
Every time you're bored, lunatic.
Yeah. Every time you're bored, you're like, I'm just taking a fucking sip here. Right.
Yeah. Well, to be fair,
Doug does that.
The problem with it now is the accessibility is so easy because everyone's got a computer in their pocket. But we've forever since advertising was created, we've all been fed some kind of algorithm down our fucking throats in one way. So, I mean, the algorithm of the internet and the marketing and the brain push of the internet's a new thing, but it's not new in concept as far as like, you know, they're always trying to push shit on us. It's just up to you to be a human being to like control how deep it goes. Now it's a new challenge, right? Because like you said, this is new.
Yeah.
The fucking iPhone's badass.
But like,
it's crazy.
Hunting is what made me like realize all this shit. Like, and just see it from a different lens.
So do you think it's worse in the hunting space?
I don't think it's any worse. You name it. I mean, you could get into whatever your passion is, and you're going to get sucked into it or shit on social media. And so we'll get more into this on the hunting side of it.
Yeah.
Right. And why I think social media is absolutely ruining hunting. But like, I mean, you insert the thing, you can find a group out there on Facebook. You can find people out there that want to, you can find Instagram, whatever, photos, you name it, right? Like, so I don't think it's just hunting, but that's what I'm really, really interested in. That's what I know. And that's why that's what I came here to talk about is like, why I think, and everybody listening to this podcast obviously likes hunting. So that's what I'm here to talk about. Not so much like you could insert anything. I think as in general, right? Social media not used correctly is going to fuck up a lot of people.
For sure.
Oh, it already has.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's a proven fact.
Yeah. Yeah. So when it comes to like the hunting side of it, right? All right. So I think about like why we post grip and grins on. Like, why do you post a picture of your animal, right? I'm going to share a little story. I used to share, I've taken pictures of a deer my whole life, used to straddle them, and like you didn't care what that was, right? Like that back of the truck straddling deer, like that was like a badge of honor where I grew up.
Oh yeah, that was a pose back in the day.
Classic. So that's a classic hunting photo.
And you print that photo off, it'd be in a bar, maybe it might be in your house, but
sporting
like
goods store.
You didn't share it with everybody. You didn't have to think about it. So you share all this stuff online, right? And I went out and shot an elk a few years ago, and at that time I wasn't posting anything on the internet. Like, this is a probably the greatest hunting thing I've ever had in my life. I had no interest in sharing it. So I sent it to, I texted everybody that hunts that I know. And that was it. And I got the same feeling and feedback from them as like a bunch of strangers just liking it, right? Like, and it was way more intimate.
Yeah.
And what I learned from it was like, all these people that had no idea saw that photo would start asking me, I'd say, hey, I saw this photo. Like, everybody started sharing it out in a network. Like, I'd be like 4 degrees away from myself and be like, they're like, hey, I saw that elk you shot. I'm like, what? Like, they wouldn't even seen it on social media, right? So like, so there's that side of it, right? The other side of it was like, my wife, she went to go to a store in town, and they had asked like, hey, how's your? Yeah, I know your husband hunts. How's he doing this year? And I'd shot a buck like a couple weeks before that. It was November. And she's like, oh, she talked about my elk. She totally forgot that I'd shot a buck a couple days before. It was like a whole fiasco. I'd have Gary and Diesel come find it the next day for me. Like, it was a whole thing. Yeah. Okay. She totally forgot about it. So my point is that like nobody gives a shit what you put online. Okay. With these grip rings, nobody cares. Like I don't remember. Like, I had to ask you, like, is that flop? Like, I don't remember. You know exactly what he looks like. Yeah. In that picture, right? Like, my wife doesn't even remember the shit that I shoot. So why the fuck would the internet care about your deer? It's just.
I see what point you're trying to make, but I think it's a wrong
quite
perception.
Made the full way of it yet.
Okay, keep going.
No, I want to keep having this conversation. I'll get to it, right? But that's a huge part of it.
I get it, but for a lot of people, it's an accomplishment and they're proud of it. And I don't agree with like posting a picture bloody, like you're straddling it and it's gory. I don't agree with that. Like, every photo we post, you can tell we've put some effort into making it look presentable and respectful, which I think can be a positive in the light of hunting, where it's like, wow, that looks nice. I think
to other hunters.
I think for someone that doesn't hunt, if you can put some like a descriptor to it, it's good. But you got to remember, like, if I post,
you're playing right into my hand, Kurt. I love.
Okay,
this.
I love it too. I'll have the conversation with you because I don't really think it's that big a deal.
Sure.
Because all right, so on my personal hunting page, at my personal Facebook page, on my personal page, it's really people I know, or somebody has a WCB hat on, I add them. But I'm weird because my kids are on there. And I don't post a lot of pictures of my kids in general because there's so many creeps and shit. And I really don't post a lot of my family. But it's mostly, I mean, you can ask. I have like, so I feel bad, but my Facebook is like my personal page. And everybody on there is a hunter or knows I'm a hunter. I've always been the kid that hunts and everybody knew was a hunter. And I know you guys are the same. So on that, it's like when I post it, it's for hunters and it's for my friends and family to see it. And I think it's cool. Really, I have an album on there that says outdoors and hunting. And it's a way for me to kind of back up all my hunting photos.
Like your photos just there.
So I just like keep them there. And they're not, I might take 200 photos from my own memory and one gets posted. It's the cleanest, most respectful one. And the rest of them are for me. So I can go through and show you on my camera roll, like, here's the buck I shot. And you'll see all these photos that I'd never put on the internet that are maybe it laying there that shows the arrow entrance and the frothy lung blood all over its side and all over the ground. And I'm not posting that photo. I get that argument. Like, let's not do that. But when it comes to the podcast, there's going to be people who don't hunt that get on it and I have an issue and they might have an issue with it. Fuck them. But 98% of the people that are going to be on our page are people who know we're hunters or listen to the podcast. And it kind of follows up and ties into our conversations that we have on the podcast and what we do,
So what happens when it goes viral?
Fuck them. I don't care.
Okay. I love I love this.
What's the problem if it goes viral?
Okay. So here's
we shot it. Eric shot a giraffe. Let it go viral. We'll educate from it.
Okay. So, yes, I love this. This is great, Kurt. All right. So, let it go viral. Okay, so that thing goes viral. Actually, I didn't experience the viral part. I don't know all the stories of that. But the one that I do know was like, all right, so there's a cat hunting photo, right? This cat gets killed. It's a mountain lion out west, and not your cat. Mountain lion out west, and guy's holding it. It goes viral.
Derek Wolf.
Yeah, I don't know if it was. It could have. I think Wolf did too. I know that one, but there's some other ones. I don't. And so it goes viral, and there's and you said try to put a description on what it means to you, right? Or like what this means to you.
Yeah.
So this goes to all these people, and like the predators in general and mountain lions to the non-hunting world is like that triggers something in them. It's not so much
them and bears get them.
Yeah.
Bears especially get them.
Yep. And so how can you, and this is what I was trying to explain a little bit earlier, is that like, how do you explain in that caption everything that goes into it? You just talked about everything that goes into your business. How do you explain to somebody that's never hunted before why you hunt and what goes into that hunt, why you use dogs, why you shot the animal, why it's important to you, why everything.
Well, you're not going to be able to,
You can't.
but it doesn't matter.
But I think it does.
Well, but okay, so someone can be like, all right, if I see something I don't like, I can be like, I don't like that. I don't care what the descriptor is. But someone can see that, and like, what really matters is what actually matters. But like, okay, if you don't like that I shot a mountain lion,
so
So
keep scrolling.
4% of Americans are hunters.
I get where you're getting at.
80% of non-hunters, they support hunters. Okay, general numbers, right?
Yeah,
Just like 63% of all statistics are made up on the spot, right? But
It's a good one.
That is a good 60%. That's probably true.
And so 80% support hunters. Okay, they have no skin in the game, right? Like if we're saying from a standpoint of fuck them, right? And not that I don't disagree with you. I don't care necessarily what people think of me. That's not what I'm worried about. Ultimately, what I'm worried about is hunting being taken away forever and my kids and grandchildren not being able to hunt. Okay, that's like ultimately it. But like, you can't explain why you like to hunt in there. So like you're not going to win people over. Like all these like cute fancy videos of why I like to hunt, always no drone shot, no certain angles, no clean pictures of is going to change somebody's mind that doesn't like hunting. Think about fucking COVID and BLM and fucking Trump versus Biden. Do you think a fucking social media post changes someone's mind? No, it just made them go way further the opposite way. So my thought is that when you post this stuff, if you're going to try to change someone's mind with a post with a grip and grin or have some great elaborate story of why you killed this buck you named, you're not going to win somebody over. If anything, you're going to push somebody away from it.
Yeah, but what if no hunting photos of any kind ever got posted ever? Think about the people who wouldn't even be on the radar. I think we'd be if no one ever even thought about hunting at all, even the 80%, the 80% that support it, whatever that statistic is, probably support it from seeing some positive posts online or a friend and seeing like, oh, I hunted hard, this provided X amount of meat, whatever. That support probably comes from the internet nowadays.
I don't think it comes from the internet. I think it comes from our relationships with those people.
Yeah, and also
Maybe,
I'm making that post. I'm not making that post to change people's minds. I don't give a fuck about other people's minds. Like I'm making that post, me gripping grinning, to show my buddies that I'm not in contact with all the time. Hey, look, hey, I shot a deer, it's
but also you can just be proud of it and you don't need to have an explanation.
Right. That's what I mean. I'm not out there to change someone's mind. Like, if you're going to talk shit on my post, I don't give two fucks. Talk shit.
Sure.
Yeah. But
I don't care.
But
I'm just saying, as hunters, we have nothing to gain.
I disagree.
With posting them, we have nothing to gain. Okay.
I disagree just because I think, imagine if it's kind of like an educator of like, this happens and it's a functional thing for a reason. I know what you're saying. There's going to be a percentage of people who are like, fuck that, I'm anti-hunting because I don't like the look of a dead mountain lion, But if no one ever saw any of it and never thought about it, I almost think the antis would have more power against us just from overall like ignorance of just general population would have no idea about it, Like it kind of, like it being seen and visible and knowing it's happening and people enjoy it and they eat it and they consume the meat, and it's especially now with Meat Eater, right? Like Meat Eater, agree or not with all the behind the scenes stuff with like the churning group that happened. I think that's all. I don't know where it stands. I don't pay that close attention. Don't give a fuck. I'm doing my own thing. But Meat Eater has been big and Joe Rogan has been big for hunting because people see them doing it and they're talking about it. And they're talking about the benefits of it. Whereas if they didn't do any of it, I think we would be further behind with the whole anti-hunting movement than what it is now, honestly.
I agree with you.
All right, so I'm going to take this back a little bit. So you talk about like posting dead animal photos or like some of these gory shots. Like there's all kind like that we as hunters can appreciate.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't really think you should post bloody bloodbath photos of it laying in a pickup truck. I get it's the reality of it, but I don't agree with putting that out there for everybody who doesn't understand it. That's where I do get different with it.
So like I work in food manufacturing. My first assignment was kill floor and cut floor.
Mm-hmm.
Where we kill hogs, nobody's allowed in there. You work for the company, like you have to have special access. It is killing an animal is an ugly thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can't like people. We don't broadcast any of that, whether it's hogs or steers, you name it. Right? When they go to a production facility to be killed, like that is off limits. We don't share it. If you shared that with everybody, the amount of people that wouldn't want to eat meat, like they go to the grocery store. So many people, and I'm not saying this is correct, right? But so many people go to the grocery store. They're so disconnected.
Have no clue where it came from.
No clue, and they're okay with that. The minute you tell them that was,
slaughtered with
Daisy.
4,000 other pigs.
Yeah, Daisy from the old hog pen out there and show the life that they lived, right? Like, there is a reason that you do not see any of that shit and it is so guarded in the food industry, okay? Like, I live that.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, so the same aspect, I'm thinking from a grip ring. Why are we showing these on there? Like, what? Like, just to show our friends? Well, I go back to my point of just text it to your buddies then. Like, why do you have to show it for everybody for the opportunity to go viral?
I don't think that's
Just somebody to see it that doesn't understand it.
we don't. So from our perspective, we never posted one to go viral. Like we'll just use. I mean,
But it just does. Like Austin's didn't, right?
Yeah, true.
That you didn't plan on it.
That's a good example, but it's it doesn't matter. Like we're not posting it to go viral. Like it's their accomplishments and it's reality and it's stories and it's just the way it is. It's like, okay. I love watching people get knocked out on the internet. That's a fucked up thing of mine. It's fucked up,
fun.
but it's goddamn, it's fun to watch. They probably shouldn't put that on there. Well, but you know what the reality is? People get fucking knocked out. My algorithm right now is pedophiles getting knocked out, and I love it. And that's brutal. Is it good for everybody to see? No, but the reality is you're gonna get knocked out if you fuck around and find out. And that is, I don't know how that relates to hunting. It doesn't, but it's just the reality of the world. And I don't think posting a picture of you smiling with a buck, I think it's wasted energy.
Okay, so
Personally.
Is that guy at the hog house killing every hog and sitting there smiling?
no, dude, it's fucked up.
Is he happy that he's there?
I would not want that job.
He's not happy that he's there doing that. We're happy here we're doing it because
Yeah. Well, it's accomplishments. It's, it's a lot can be. It's
a lot of hard work and stuff going after.
We'll go round and round with that. I think
I don't disagree with you guys'
the
points.
energy with, I know you don't, I know, but the energy worrying about if someone posts a picture of them and a deer of like, that shouldn't be on the internet. I feel like that could be channeled elsewhere into something else, like what that we don't really need to worry about that. We're all hunters. Most people understand hunting. Like you can't, like, honestly, like that photo of Floppy on here, you could show that to a non-hunter and they might be like, ooh, I don't like that. But there's no blood in the photo. I'm not like maliciously disrespecting the animal. This is a clean, obviously it's dead. But if I was out of that picture and my bow was out of that picture and you show that to someone who didn't hunt, you'd be like, oh, it's laying there with its head up.
it's sleeping.
So here's what I think too is
It's having a little nap.
I know you guys probably live in a similar bubble as I do. We're in small rural communities. A lot of people hunt. Nobody has a lot of issues we hunt, right? We don't make a lot of visits to the city. We're the shit where you could walk into a bar in Chicago, make sure you're strapped, but you walk in there and you got to you show this photos and I don't know, 95% of them are they're probably, I'm not gonna make. Maybe that was a bad example. Okay, so there are 26 states that are. You can basically put together a proposition, and you can vote. You can vote on it, right? Mm-hmm. California, they came up with this law that it's called Prop 12, and they came up with this law that any hog, any only fresh meat fresh pork going to California, that the sow pens had to be, the gestation crates, they had to be expanded to wider than what the normal was, so they were more free range, right? Mm-hmm. From a farming standpoint, it made it made a lot of issues for the farmers, right? Because now they have to expand their pens. They have less control of these hogs and how to feed them and take them to market, right? But they put this prop. It's called Prop 12 in California. They put this out there up to vote. Everybody votes on it because, yep, we want happy, healthy hogs.
Because now they're free range because they got an extra 6 inches on each side.
Yep. Okay. But here's my point is that like people are voting for shit. They don't have a clue. That's what they're thinking about.
Yeah, they did no research.
And you know the dumb shit with this is that you can send we make pre-cooked bacon. You can send that to California with the hog that hasn't been through this little happy raising, but you can't send raw bacon. Okay, you can't send raw pork, but you can send cooked stuff there. That's fine.
The hell's the difference?
Great. So that is what
been cooked, Eric.
Okay.
Yeah, Eric,
pay attention.
The hell.
So what I'm getting at is that their game is long and calculated. Okay, they're starting small and they're chipping away.
Yeah.
Right. There is a.
I just don't think a grip and grin is gonna like change it. Like I get your point. It might change some, but.
So there's a law going right now in Colorado. Prop 91 is going to be, it's called prohibit trophy hunting, okay?
And that's the problem right there, trophy hunting.
So the way they're pitching it right now, so if you think about Colorado right now, 5.8 million people is the population. 5.2 million of those are on the Front Range, okay? Meaning like Denver, Boulder area, all right? Mm-hmm. We all know just what happened there recently with wolves, right? They released wolves there. They're reintroducing them to Colorado. There's been a lot of controversy around
controversy,
that. Okay, this prop 91 is for lynx, bobcats, and mountain lions. Okay, so what they're proposing to these 5.2 million people of Denver and Boulder, all these fucking hippies out there, right? They're going to decide this for the state because you can put this in 26 states. You can do this similar thing. You can hunt a bobcat in a 2-week window, okay? But no traditional means of hunting, no trapping, no dogs, no pursuing, right? So tell me how you hunt mountain lion, lynx, or bobcats by just sitting in a tree.
It'd be pretty damn tough.
Okay? They're also proposing that you can keep the meat from those animals, but they're going to confiscate everything else. That's what's in Prop 91.
Yeah.
From just from the lynx, bobcat, or mountain lion.
Correct.
But I don't know if the point you're trying to make relates to the trophy photo thing. I think you read that on paper, they're going to vote that no matter what because they're ignorant liberals, whether or not I have a picture of a buck on the internet or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you read that on paper, every liberal without even thinking about social media, they're going to be like, yeah, that looks good to me because I'm ignorant, you know?
But what about the people that are on the fence?
I don't know. It's,
are we winning them over by putting pictures? Oh, so you go back to that
I think if Derek
photo.
Wolf posts a photo that has a huge following, and then I know he had a big descriptor and explained it, and he went on news outlets and explained it. A lot of people on the fence if they're on the fence, they don't know, and maybe those are the on the fence people that heard him out. They're like, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
So my point in that would be, look what happened to Prop 12. Does that make any fucking sense? Like you're thinking like a rational human, Kurt. You're thinking like a rational person.
But imagine if there was no Joe Rogan, no Steve Ranella, no Michael Waddell, no Jim Shockey. Like a lot of people know the positives of Africa from Jim Shockey and Corey Knowlton and those guys where they wouldn't have known it beforehand through platforms like Rogan, and Derek Wolf was on Rogan. That's the biggest platform in the world right now. And Derek Wolf went on there and explained that entire mountain lion story. I would much rather him go on there and share the photo and do that than not do it at all. And just someone saw the photo through a buddy and then it went viral in the liberal realm without any explanation at all. So you know what I'm saying? So like, imagine if, like you said, you sent it to your buddies and Derek Wolf's an NFL player. So there's more impact there or whatever, or retired NFL player. So say he didn't post it on the internet, and he sent it to a buddy that, hey, man, check out, this is awesome. I had this cool hunt. And then his liberal NFL girlfriend got a hold of it, sent it to all her liberal crowd, and then got in, and there was no backing from Rogan and Cam Haines and positive news
but they're not listening.
All
those liberals aren't listening to that stuff.
Well, what I'm saying is if he didn't go on Rogan and that photo got into their realm without these massive platform explanations, it's worse off.
But I don't think those are helping us.
I think that him going on Rogan and telling his whole story and him going on news outlets and telling the whole story and why they did it, because it was a problematic cat.
Okay.
So I think he won more people over by doing that stuff rather than if he didn't and the liberals just made their own story up with it. Look how bad this is. We have no context.
Yeah.
So think about COVID era. Mm-hmm. Did any arguments people had in the stories they told?
Yeah, we're not talking about COVID. We're talking about hunting.
I'm thinking people's psyche.
Yeah, but
if you how are you going to change? You know what I'm saying is changing somebody's mind on that is if they're already wishy-washy.
So I guess the analogy to that would be like, okay, hey, dude, there's a sickness going around. I have this, like, say you didn't even watch any news. It wasn't on the news. And it was, someone came in, dude, there's a sickness going around. You're going to die. They have this vaccine now. Do you want the vaccine or not? And you had you'd be like, oh, fuck, give me the vaccine. If someone just came to you in a room, like, it's going around, people are dying, and you had no CNN or Fox and all this, and you couldn't form your own opinion because we all educated ourselves, logical guys like us, formed our own opinion and thought about it, and we're like, I don't know if I like that. Well, the liberals, if there's no... The Rogan episode was combative for, I think, in the positive for mountain lion hunting in Colorado than if he wouldn't have done it at all and that photo got into the liberal realm and they got to make their own agenda behind that photo.
They did.
Yeah, but I think the Rogan thing being the biggest platform in the world outweighed that.
So you would have thought COVID did too, but look at how many fucking wild. Rogan was against COVID and he was blacklisted.
Well, we're not talking about. I'm talking about the hunting. So
but I'm talking
what I mean
psyche.
Is the biggest platform in the game. Of course, there's going to be a combative, but what's bigger? More positive for hunting happened through the Rogan episode than it did negative. I think from whatever else. But I got to like look at this terrible scumbag NFL player Derek Wolfe killed a mountain lion. What I'm saying is, if he didn't do Rogan, we would be worse for mountain lion hunting in Colorado, which I think is where
I don't disagree there. I just think there could have been. I think there's more damages that we don't understand because we're not living in those bubbles.
I don't think there's a way to win it. I would rather have it and have the information out than not have the information.
Yeah, the information like someone can go and find.
I'd rather just not post that photo.
Okay, but then
it doesn't go viral.
It went viral though, and it turned in, I think, to a positive for mountain lion hunting. It was a Colorado cat, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
I think you're going to get positive and negative no matter what with hunting. It's just the nature of what hunting is. I would rather have the story on a platform like Rogan than not have the story at all on Rogan and then just have negative light. Because not many platforms you can go on and talk openly about like what you did, like Rogan. And it's the biggest right now. It is the biggest.
I think Rogan, like as a whole, too, has helped the hunting community too.
Oh yeah, because if you gotta think about a guy like Rogan or a lot of people that are like mainstream, like getting into hunting. If they post something hunting, that gives that liberal or someone that like, I hate hunting, like maybe I might like hunting. Maybe I'll try it. Maybe I'll look into it.
Because if they don't, pretty neutral.
If they didn't like hunting before, who cares? They didn't like hunting, but it might gain their interest. Be like, hey, maybe I'll try hunting, and it got a lot more people into hunting.
Yeah, like you said, there's always been the people who are like, fuck hunting. Like,
they're always gonna be that.
Yeah.
So but
some people.
But us posting that picture, I mean, I posted pictures before where people were like, I've never hunted before in my life. How do I get into it? I'll walk you through it.
Yeah. So in that aspect, I don't disagree that Rogan's not great for hunting, but there's other reasons why Rogan is it's bad for hunting too. Well, I get into that in a minute too. But back to like the thought of like that Prop 91 in Colorado, and the reason they're so here's my belief. Okay, is that the reason they're so strong for predators? They want to release wolves. That they want to start this with trophy hunting against mountain lions and lynx and bobcats. Is their long play on this? Is okay. Well, let me ask you guys this question. What do you think is going to happen to the elk herd in Colorado when wolves are introduced there?
Well, that's my problem is like, okay, if you don't like it, move out of Colorado. But if they do pass this, there's going to become a time in 10, 15, 5 years where they're going to be like, why the fuck did we do this? Because there's going to be mountain lions and lynx and everything else in town causing a problem.
Yep.
Yeah, and honestly, from my take too, it's like, I don't know what's going to happen with that. You know what I mean?
So like, what? So when you introduce wolves in northern Wisconsin,
I'll be honest. If we're all being real, I don't know fucking shit about wolves. I don't know that much about mountain lions. Okay. I don't live in Colorado.
Okay.
None of us really know. Now, this is not good for us as hunters. We all know that. And I'm not for this.
In general, predators when wolves were introduced in northern Wisconsin, that along with hard winters, it was a combination. They would start wiping out the deer herd, right? There's less numbers now than before.
Yeah.
Same thing. You go out west. You look at the grizzly bear introduction. You can't hunt grizzlies. You can't. Wolves are protected. Not every state, but some states, right?
Yeah.
The play on this, the long play, is if they introduce predators and they decimate ungulate herds or game that we want to hunt. What's the need for hunters? Okay,
no, I get all that. I honestly. I agree with you on that. Like, this is not good. I'm not arguing with you on this. Like, I can agree with that. I'll be honest though, I don't know enough. Like, of course I don't want wolves in Colorado. Nobody that thinks about shit does. And so I'm not arguing with you on that. I agree. I think everybody listening agrees they don't want wolves in Colorado. I get the end game. It's kind of an annoying conversation to a point because it's frustrating because there's no
I will say
positive outcome.
Thanks to social media, I know this now.
Yeah, but that's right. That's a good point.
So I got it from you.
But I'm also kind of at the point where like
social media.
I'm kind of with Kurt here. Where like it's also Colorado. I don't live there. I get it. It's not good for the hunting community, which we should be more involved in.
Yeah, we should definitely.
Dude, we have to.
Yeah.
Well, we have to
guard the gate.
Yeah.
Dude, Chicago. You look at we're Illinois guys here, right? Would you look at the map of a red and blue in an election? You have a red corner around Chicago and a blue corner around Chicago and everything else is red.
Yeah.
They outnumber us.
Yeah.
Why is that not too far down the road to be here? Why can't they say, you can hunt deer, but you can't keep the horns, you can't keep the hide, you can only hunt for meat. How far away are we removed from that coming here is my point.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think a picture of me with my buck floppy
I don't think it helps
causing it though.
It's not causing it, but it's not. In my opinion, not helping it.
I don't think that it's hurting it to a point that's measurable in Illinois, especially in Illinois. I get what you're saying. I'm not going to act like I don't get the point you're trying to make. I think that the energy spent conversating this long about it versus like the actual impact. Now, okay.
It's minuscule.
If every person that posted a trophy photo was tongue out, blood, and guts and gore, like we talked about, yeah, that's not good. It's definitely not good. I don't agree with that. I'll tell you this, and what it's going to have to just be is will be how you think about it. This will be how I think about it. I'm going to keep posting my pictures because I'm proud of it and I love it.
Sure.
And I'm not afraid to say I love hunting. Oh, I could get all sentimental. Oh, I'm one with nature. I think shooting animals is a lot of fun. I like watching fletching go through deer hair. That's a cool feeling to me. And it's not in a sick, demented way. To me, it's ethics and accuracy and hard work and passion, and I love it.
Everybody here listening understands that.
Yeah.
If you post that clip and that happens to go viral, there's a lot of people that are going to think that you are sick and demented.
You're never going to change their mind, though, so who gives a fuck?
If that's the case, I'm fucking cool with it. I'm sick, twisted, and demented.
Let it go viral.
I guess
Suck my ass.
I like killing animals for food. Cut that clip, liberals, you fucking faggots.
Cut it. Like that.
You know what I mean? I am who I am. I like to shoot animals and eat them. They're made of meat. They're delicious.
They're really
you know
good.
what I mean? There's nothing wrong with like owning that clip of that, Shane Gill says faggot all over the place. I'll say it too. I'm on a hunting podcast.
You're a comedian.
I just think
I'm a comedian. Look at me, I'm funny.
You're a comedian. It doesn't count.
No, I'm doing that for comedic relief, but
I think it just has to be a paradigm shift because this is exactly what I ran into when I made it.
Yeah.
I commented on that Heartland Bowhunter post where there's a bunch of blood coming out. Like everybody calls you like. These guys are a bunch of pussies. Like, we got to stand up for what we believe in. Like, fuck them. Like, if they can't take it, they got to know where their groceries come from. Like, the old school thinking. What I'm just saying is I don't think that's helping us. Okay, next thing on why social media is ruining hunting. Okay, big buck craze. Okay.
Yeah, tell me about it.
All right. There's always been magazines and videos of big deer, right? But they didn't quite circulate like social media does. It doesn't grab the attention of people like social media does.
Yeah, because it was basically just hunters are getting it.
Everybody wants to shoot a big buck. And when it comes to, leasing land, okay, there are guys out there that are going to go and lease 600 acres. Okay. And the 600 acres used to have 15, 20 people hunting on it. Mm-hmm. Now there's 2 guys that lease it. And this is an experience that is right next door neighbors to me where I hunt. Mm-hmm. And now those hunters are displaced. They try to go to public. So now we have these 2 guys who hunt 600 acres. They got all their cameras out. They're the big buck killers. They want to kill the big deer. They don't quite have the big deer on their property. So I'm going to go hunt public. So all the guys that is kicked off, right, are now going to public. Mm-hmm. Now they're going there too because they don't have quite the deer there. And then I better go get another lease, or I better go get permission over here, right? And so now there's a lot of hunters that just, they have nowhere to hunt, right? And you think about Illinois, the amount of public land that's here, there's hardly none anyways, right? Mm-hmm. So I feel like the way social media pumps shit into you, we talked about this earlier, like the addiction mode of it, right? If I'm into big bucks and hot chicks, okay, that's what showed up on my feed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
nice.
Sick.
Hold on.
Sounds like mine.
I don't blame you.
Wait.
Great minds. Hey, great minds think alike. What's up?
Yeah, all things that are good. I like that.
So everybody wants to have this big buck, right? So
yeah,
you have, like, I'm sure you guys know guys that do that shit, right? And I'm gonna call people out on that. That if you're leasing land and you're going out there hunting public on top of that, just so you can get a different buck, dude, I'm calling you out and saying that's
kind of similar to basement decorators. Thought he kind of said the same thing, but worded different, but same outcome. We put that clip out, and a lot of people took it out of context. I get that point to a little bit. I don't have any problem with guys leasing.
Leave the 600 acres, and now there's just deer running everywhere. Like, they're not shooting any deer there.
Yeah.
For the record, I in Illinois, this is the land of dudes from Chicago going and buying up all the leases and whatever, right?
Buying the ground.
I'd do it too.
So there's a lot of people out of state who buy it because
it's over the counter.
Yeah, over the counter tag.
Either sex tags. But I can't act like I wouldn't do it. If I had the money to lease up everything I fucking could, I would do it. And I would hunt the biggest deer that I could. But I would also let the homies hunt my leases if I could afford that,
So at what point is it everyone priced out of this?
I don't know.
Look at out west getting points. How much that's exploded.
It's tough, man. Yeah.
And so you talk about Rogan being good for hunting. Everybody wanted to get into hunting and shoot these big animals. And he goes to these ranches and shoots these big deer because he has money, or elk or deer, or whatever. He has the money to do that.
Yeah.
So then you get these guys from Chicago coming out. And now they lease up your land that you used to hunt as a kid for those 600 acres, and they come out there a couple times a year. Now where do you go, right? And now it becomes a rich man's game.
Mm.
Yeah, man. I agree with you. I agree with you on that, but you can't tell people not to. You know what I mean? It's like I get it. I'm with you. I agree, but it sucks. It's like, okay, if you could lease up half of the county or whatever county you want to hunt, and you could afford it, and you had the availability to, and you could do it, you do it.
So, but why,
we'd all do it.
But why do people do it? Why are they wanting to shoot that? It wasn't like this years ago.
I think it was. I think now it's just more visible. 'Cause I grew up with guys hunting that were big, hardcore bow only, big buck killers, and had leases and did. I think it's more thought about now. Leasing's more thought about now than it ever was. But I mean, my dad and I had leased ground for a long time, and knew guys that leased ground and guys that bought. It's not a new thing.
Not leasing in general, right? But leasing massive amounts and kicking all the other people off of it, right? You talk about your old hunting camp where there's how many guys used to do that from a traditional side, right? Like multiple guys go down there hunting. That shit doesn't happen anymore from a tradition side. Like
it's rare.
People are very selfish. What they don't send pictures to one another. They don't want to talk about it.
Yeah,
I think it's fueled by the grip and grins.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I don't think it's the grip and grins. I think it does social media have something to do with it? Yeah, but it's also the farmer. What do farmers want to do? Make money.
Okay,
flatten everything and make money.
They want to make money. So if they say, hey, yeah, I got big deer here, I can make it for more money. It's not the 20 people that had permission. It's the farmer's fault saying, hey, I'm kicking you guys off.
So why was that not available years ago? Why was this not a thing 15 years
That's
ago?
why I said social media probably has something to do with it, but at the same time, this is where we're living. It is what it is.
Yeah, I think it's more thought about now, and I don't know if it's necessarily social media, it might be the real like land agents and realtors that are kind of spiking that up, and
that's huge too.
Leasing's more available because of the internet,
social media.
But what's that?
They use social media to.
Yeah, but just the internet in general.
Yeah,
I'm not disagreeing with you. Like, yeah, I don't want my property to get leased up by a guy from Chicago, and like that's just gonna outpay me. That sucks. I get it. But also too,
it's the times we live in.
But also
it might
too,
happen.
If I could do it, if I had the money to go get.
Yeah, but why do those guys from Chicago want to come out and do it more now than before? Like
They just like hunting, but it's. All the guys I hunted with, actually, I grew up in camp, were all Chicago guys. They've been seriously bow hunting since early 90s, guys I look up to that were hardcore bow killers, but bow hunting killers and whatever. But it's, but I don't think the big buck craze is bad or uncommon, because big bucks have been a fascinating thing since the beginning of time. Antlers are fascinating. Like you can't ignore the culture of hunting and antlers. Like, bigger deer are always cool no matter what.
Sure.
They always are. If there's a 110-inch deer with a 3-inch drop tine and a 180-inch deer standing next to it, there's not going to be a guy going, oh, the 180. I'm not going to shoot the 180 because that little 110 has a drop. Everyone's shooting the 180. Everyone is. So if all these deer walk out and the biggest one walks out and you have a shot at it over all the rest of them, fuck you. Why'd you shoot the biggest one? You had all those other 80 deer you could have shot. It's kind of like
they're all standing in line at 20 yards.
Everybody's shooting the biggest
Everyone's
deer.
shooting the biggest one.
Sure.
If big bucks didn't matter, that's good. It's a more mature
And it
animal.
didn't matter if it was
I think
2 years ago or 20 years ago.
I think the
Everyone's
big
shooting
buck
biggest
craze
one.
to a point is good, because it's making more big bucks for everyone. So if everyone in the big buck craze goes to public and everyone's like, I got to shoot a 150 or bigger, and they're in Iowa or Illinois, that makes
more 150s would show
bigger
up.
deer,
for
really.
those guys with a bunch of money.
Well, on public, I'm saying too. If guys are
If
riding
all the public land hunters did it.
yeah, if everyone's on that like big buck craze and it bleeds over into public and it's big buck culture,
There are, not everywhere, but there's definitely more big deer now being killed. Than
on
there was.
average, yeah,
on average.
for sure. I think I get your point with it. It's bad and good.
A lot of people too are getting to the point where they're wanting to grow big deer because they see people grow big deer.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
Which is
it's kind of
good.
a fun thing.
Yeah.
So everybody tries to do it. They're throw and grow plots and shit like that.
So then you got guys that go multiple states, and they're shooting 5, 6, 7 deer, more deer or elk that they can even eat. Mm-hmm. Okay. To make content, they're going there. They're putting in points. Everybody wants to be the social media star, this influencer. They think they all got their own YouTube channel. They travel around the country. They're putting in points everywhere. They're hearing on podcasts everywhere else that you got to go chase these big deer. You got to, if you're not going to 3 different states, you're not having a great experience. And then they go to these states and they donate the meat, and they think they're doing the act of God. Like they think that's like, oh, well, it's okay. I shoot all these deer and I go to these other states and I put in these points and I lease land in Iowa so that you can't get onto it or what, right?
Man, I wanna have this conversation with you. I got to be honest. You just sound like a hater with that, man. I can't get on board. I've never heard somebody say if you have never hunted 3 states, you're not having a good experience. I think donating meat is good. Hunting is fun. If you're taking that experience away from another hunter though, that doesn't have a but
spot
are they
to
though?
go
Like, let's use Larry McCoy from Respect the Game. That dude travels the country and he goes to outfits and donates the meat.
How many years did you get a tag in Iowa?
Well, it depends on the unit.
I have
4
no
or
idea.
5.
And how many was it 10 years ago?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
A lot less. It wasn't 4
Probably
or
less.
5.
Yeah, probably less than that.
That's my point.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's just what it is, man.
And guys are going out buying properties in other states just to hunt from around the country, right? They're going there to buy that land and kicking off all the other hunters. And they might go buy land in Iowa and they can't hunt it for 5 years because, and they don't allow other people to hunt it because they want to grow a big deer and they kick those people off of there. It's becoming, in my opinion, a rich man's.
Oh, it is
game.
for sure. It is
for sure.
It is. But dude, if I go buy a hunt, say I kill two bucks and 2 does in Illinois, and that's my meat for the year for my family, and that's what we're gonna eat on. And I don't buy ground beef, whatever. I don't need to explain that. You get that. But then I want to go on an elk hunt in Wyoming, and I give half that meat to a buddy and give this away here, and I go that. Like I can't go kill an elk because I drew a tag.
That's you. What about the guy who goes to 10 different states to shoot 10 different elk?
Dude, I'd do it too.
Who cares?
You know what I mean? Like if I
get taking away opportunity from other guys.
Yeah, but if I drew the tag and I spent the money and played the odds and stuff, what you can't hate on me for that.
Okay, I'm looking.
Like, should Jimmy John not spend $500,000 on a governor's tag that goes to conservation?
Well, I think that's that's completely different.
How though? Because if you could afford a governor's tag in Iowa and Kansas and Arizona and go and do it,
and he leases the ground there, what?
Wouldn't you do it? It's the same thing. It's just he's spending the extra amounts of money that goes to conservation versus the normal amounts of money that costs for each tag. So if I buy let's just say $1,000 elk tag in Wyoming, all said and done, whatever, just make it that number. I don't remember what it is. It's in that ballpark, I think, but maybe a touch more. So if I do that in Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, and I kill 3 elk in a year, like me personally, does that make me a shitbag?
That's what he's saying, yes.
Because I put in the points and I'm like, I'm going to draw all 3 this year. And I've been putting in points and I got my 7 years of points in Wyoming I'm going to draw. I got my 3 years in Montana and I got 2 points in Idaho. Right? And I'm going to go kill 3 elk. How does that make me a bad dude if I spent let's say $4,000 with all that, and
not including all the money you put in for points, everything else?
Yeah, and then I spend my money on gas, and it's just like
the outfitter. You might be paying an outfitter. There's
a 19-year-old kid who's an outfitter that's how he makes his money, and you know what I mean. Like I don't really get the argument. I think I see the point you're trying to make. Like we just posted a clip today of Jimmy John talking about it. It's like, I make this money to do shit like, all right, maybe I'll drink a Busch Light instead of a Natty. I'll buy a nicer mattress. I'll get a nicer truck. Well, you got that nice truck. You bought that truck off the lot. I wanted to buy that truck. You know what I mean? It's kind of like getting into that argument. It's kind of like we're chasing our own tails with this a little bit. Well, I wanted to buy that truck. You made more money than me, and you came in and you bought that truck. Well, I wanted that truck off the lot because that has a sunroof. I wanted a sunroof in my truck. You know what I mean? Kind of.
So
it gets weird, right? It gets to be a weird argument. Like you can't tell me I can't draw my 3 elk tags and go elk hunting in 3 states.
Because I had the meeting to go to kill 10 deer in Wyoming.
Yeah, I kind of get what you're saying, but it turns into a dangerous argument. I think like it's like we're kind of pitting hunters against hunters once we start doing this now, and it's like we're all just kind of ending back to square one.
Like we literally have to draw points to go elk hunting. Like
if it's 8 points to draw the point creep, it's more money for conservation. If I put in the time to draw an 8 point unit or whatever. There's over-the-counter units in Colorado.
100%.
And then it depends what species you want to hunt. Like on a unit for black bear, it's a 17-point unit for black bear and in Colorado. Well, I ran into a guy who drew it at 17 years. Like, damn, you put your points in for 17 years? Shouldn't have drawn it because there's another guy with 17 points that wanted this unit tag. Does that make sense, kind of, like my perspective on that?
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm thinking future to like my children. Are they going to be able to have that opportunity? Right?
I think as long as the state does its job and I get that gets weird with the Colorado thing, but they allow so many tags and there's point creep because people putting in for it. And I get the popularity argument with that too, but it just, it
there's
just is
guys
what it
that
is.
Are going to all these different states just to purely create content. They're taking opportunity away from other guys that just want to hunt 1 elk in an area. Why these guys are hunting 10 elk.
Okay, so if I work for Elite Archery and I'm going to go meet you who's a steel manufacturer for the broadhead we use, and we have a business meeting, we go to a mule deer outfit in whatever state. Should we not be able to do that and go to a ranch and kill mule deer together? And you know what I'm saying? Like, that's okay. You know what I mean? When you go on a business trip with some guys, there's guys who go all the time. My dad, when he worked for Waste Management, they'd go to South Dakota and kill pheasants.
But you also have to look at the conservation side. Like, they're not going to let us go out and just wipe out this whole herd. Like, this country's been through that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, in Kurt's point, we put in points. We do our thing. If I can put in multiple points for multiple species in one state, I'm going to do it.
And I'm not disagreeing with that. I do it too.
But I don't see your argument where
we just get chasing our own tail.
I put in points. He puts in points. How is that taken away from me or him?
Not point. It's the guys that are going out there and they're paying for leases and they're taking ground away.
Yeah, that separates it to a different argument a little bit with that, but I get it. Yeah.
And I mean, this all kinds of runs back together to social media. Why are there so many people putting in points? Like, why? Like, what are people actually hunting for? What are their reasons? Is it great content and video? And then, in the grand scheme of things, back to me is like, the more we're putting out there, the more of these videos. I don't think it's helping as hunters in general. I don't think it's adding. I think we're subtracting on that side of it.
I get to the point. I think, I get your argument, man. I'm not going to act like I don't. But I'll say, I think if the big buck push and holding out for a big elk and all that stuff, I think in the long run, the animal does win because there's more value on the animal. Now, of course, yes, everything turns into a money game, right? Like
it's all money game.
And that's just the way of the world.
But does that?
Yeah. And it's not right.
I'm just saying. So is my son? Is he going to have the ability to hunt? Is it going to turn into? There's how many countries that if you look at England, right? Mm-hmm. Or there's other countries around the world that if you don't have money, like in Europe, you just don't hunt, and that is what we're going towards is a pay to play model.
Yeah, to a point. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I get it, man. I do. I do.
The big buck craze is making people do things just to shoot big deer. Like, they don't give a shit about habitat, right? They're taking properties, they're planting invasive species, right? Like, I just see there's guys out there that are planting miscanthus because it's going to have great screens. Mm-hmm. Okay, everybody thinks it's okay at the moment, but it's an invasive species. What's going to happen in 40 years from now? Multiflora rose was brought in to
natural fence.
It's a natural fence, okay? And now look at what happened to it.
Yeah.
Like, there's guys putting fucking snow fences out in the middle of woods so they can push deer to one area. Right? They're making decisions strictly to kill a big deer. Right?
Yeah. I think
that's
the blanketed way. I've been on some big dogs in the game's farms. You need a beer?
Yeah.
I've been on some big dogs in the game's farms.
I'll take
one. They from what I've seen, they most certainly are improving habitat for deer. Not just
so for deer, yeah. But I'm saying what is right for future generations, right?
Well, I think for not the deer, not like the Big 10 with 14-inch twos. For deer, not
sure. There's in general, deer. It's going to be there are improvements, but I'm saying there are people that are making very poor decisions. For one thing, I'm going to say, we talked at dinner tonight, we were talking about spraying. Mm-hmm. Dude, I think spraying is absolutely terrible. Mm-hmm. Right? I'm in the camp that spraying Roundup is terrible in a million different ways. Mm-hmm. Okay? Like, why are we doing that? For deer. Right? Yeah. Because why are we tilling up dirt to plant? Because it's easier, it's cheaper, and we're doing it to kill these. Do we need to do it that way? Do we have to do it that way? No, it's easiest, and that's how that's what this culture we've put together in the last few years has said, like, this is how you kill big deer. Like, disregard that you're pumping chemicals and all this shit into the ground.
Well, that's a commercial farming argument.
I'm with you on that too.
Over the deer hunting argument.
That's where I was just going to go, because if you want to have the argument, you can go to any farm and be like, because there's a statistics like every acre you lose 2 feet of dirt a year by tilling. Yeah. It's like, okay, well, then not just a deer hunter is
it's funny. An issue. I was with Tyler from Cartel, and we were turkey hunting in central Illinois, and we were in a no-till field. He's like, this fucking no-till is bad on the turkeys. He goes, you think a turkey can fucking strut around and run in this? And I'm like, oh, I never thought about it. All he thinks about is turkeys.
Sure.
He's like, this is hurting turkeys.
Sure.
And
but I'm not going to tell the ground to someone, it's bad for the ground.
Yeah, turkeys want to be in that. Deer. But it's, I don't know enough to be like, don't spray Roundup or do. Obviously, it can't be awesome.
Dude, have you ever seen where they make that stuff?
Dude, I don't know. I just know I've got so much of it in my body already that I'm fucked. I worked on a farm and sprayed all sorts of that shit, and I had
we're all fucked. I mean, it's no matter.
Yeah, it's all in our food.
Dude, I guess I have a different attitude. Which is why I'm here. I didn't drive 2 hours and say, hey, I want to be in this podcast.
I do love your conversation because you believe what you believe. I respect that.
I think we should change that, right? I'm not here to change your guys' mind. I'm just here to give you something to think about. Okay, because
it's great.
I'm not going to change your mind. I'm not going to change all these listeners' mind, but you got to think about little things differently. And these are all things I've thought about a lot and heard different perspectives. And it's like, it makes sense to me. And
sure.
If you don't like it, that's fine. I'm off social media. You guys can get the hate mail you want. They ain't going to fucking bother me because I don't give a shit.
Well, at the end of the day, at the end of this episode, because we agree on some things and obviously we disagree on others, but we're still going to drink a beer and it's all good.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's the best thing about
It's just great conversation.
That's where the internet sucks the most.
Yeah, 100%.
Because
right?
if this debate or back and forth on the internet, we'd be like,
it's a shitstorm.
Fuck that guy. I hope he burns in hell.
Yeah.
It's what it would be, you know.
And if I use the language what people would use on the internet up in your face, what are you gonna do to me, Kurt?
Oh, I'd hit somebody in their teeth real hard.
That's what I'm saying, right? Right? Like that doesn't happen in real life, man.
100%.
Yeah.
Fun story. That almost happened.
Not with me.
Not with you.
Oh, that's good.
How would you?
There was a sorry.
Wait a minute.
That was
Wait,
funny.
not yet.
You almost hit me just now. I'll tell the story vaguely. Well, I got another. I can't tell that story yet. It's too fresh. The fish story. I'll tell that later on the road.
Yeah.
We need some buffer time.
Save that one for
Some buffer time.
There was a guy that was like, he just hates to hate, like fairly local dude. And he's like, this guy breathes through his mouth only. I'll say that, right? So
He's a mouth breather.
I'm closing my mouth.
it's anyway, this guy was like, just sent us random hate, like stir the pot. And finally I was just like, you know where I'm at every day? Like we have a sign out front. I was like, we got a back alley that's perfect for you to get your fucking ass beat in. He hasn't showed up yet. Still waiting. What? It's like, you know, I'm not I mean, goddamn. We're from the South Park era, dude.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's true.
You know what I mean? It's just like, it's different now. You can't do that nowadays, but
Big buck craze technology.
yeah, that gets weird. That does get weird.
Look at all these guys. Okay, where is technology going? Let's just think about where it's at right now. All right,
Does anyone know?
cell cameras.
You know,
Okay,
I must have.
we know the progression. I saw the big camera over here in the back. We
Isn't
know
that
where we're
funny?
at. Yeah.
The wildlife eye.
So like we see where we're at now. Where does that turn into? Like we have drones surveilling your property. You have you have AI taking. I don't think we're too far away from this. You have AI taking your images from your cameras, trying to identify some type of pattern.
Someone's working. Oh, that exists for sure. That already
100%.
exists. I couldn't tell you, but there's an app that has algorithm data. Well, fuck.
But why? Right? So let's say that this proposition comes and they say, you know what, you can do all of that. You can use all the technology in the world you want. You can't keep the horns. You can't keep the hide. You just get the meat. Do you think anybody gives a shit anymore? Or, not anybody. I'm going to take that back. Do you think the majority of people that are shooting deer online all of a sudden stop hunting? I do. I think as soon as you say that you can't keep the antlers, you can't keep the hide.
I think the wrong ones do.
Sure.
Yeah,
And that's
I'd agree.
the wrong ones are going. We've seen this. They come,
They go.
they spurt, they're gone. They're
New
the ones.
come.
Yeah. I'm not worried about them. They'll fade themselves out.
But those are the ones that give us the biggest black eye. It's not
probably.
you guys that are making sure that you put a nice picture online.
Wait,
I
can,
think
can I
they're-
take a picture with it to put online before they take everything?
There you go. Take your photo. Yeah. Then now you can
Get your photo.
Take my photo and then they can take all the antlers. And
I
stuff.
think. Yeah.
Dude, what about do you guys? I don't know
joke,
if this
by
is
the
still a thing where guys would fucking lay on their back with their deer and take a selfie with it.
Yeah. I don't like that. I think
That's cringy.
I hate.
Yeah.
See, that's what I don't like that. The only time it's acceptable, and I don't really think it's a postable photo. Debatable on the quality and how it's done. If someone wants to, like, it's a cool way. Not the selfie photo. Don't do the selfie photo. But like, if it's a way to show how massive of a deer it is, and you're laying next to it, not a selfie photo, but it's like, this is this deer compared to me. I don't know if it's postable. Depends on how it's done. It's a neat photo to have in your camera roll to share in hunting camp with.
It's a weird photo.
Like, look how big this thing was. Or
Right.
if I shot a grizzly bear with my bow, I think it'd be cool to lay down and be like, look how big this thing is. Like, look at the damage it could do. But I don't know if I'd post it. It would be a fun, like, hey,
Like,
we're at the
show
bar.
you-
Dude,
yeah,
Just
the
look,
bar, like,
kind of
look
like
how big this
a
was.
comparison thing.
Yeah, it's a not leave my phone type of, look at
Yes.
this, crazy, huh? Cool, it stays with me type of photo. But yeah, I don't agree with the selfie photo.
Like, so technology, right? Where does it take us to the future? Are we going to have drone surveilling properties that tell you where deer are? Are we going to have, okay, you guys saw that video of the crossbow with like the night vision scope on
The buck commander thing.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, it's super gay.
You can't explain that one.
It's very Matt Buzz.
Without it being
So
illegal.
why do we have that? Just to shoot meat? No.
Gimmicks. It's I agree. Yeah, I'm on board. I'm all on board with that. You know,
So
I'm bored with the conversation. I'm not on board with.
why do people go to crossbows?
Because they're lazy. It's easy.
Easy. Got a better chance to shoot the buck that you want. You don't have to put as much work. Why do they want? I mean, sure. I'm directing the conversation where I want to go. There, that I get that, but
Yeah, it's man, we've had the conversation a lot in many different ways. You know, it goes from the evolution of the trail cam, the evolution of apps, the evolution of optics, the evolution.
I don't think it's just social media. I think it's technology.
It's just technology in general, range finding sites, and you know, it's Pope and Young was for a long time the kind of the regulator, and a lot of it is like, you know, Pope and Young wrote like the definition of a bow and arrow, and they, you know, and I think everybody goes by the Pope and Young and Boone and Crockett measuring system, same measuring system. You know, obviously different entry requirements.
Yep.
But Pope and Young lost a lot of people, I think, in the evolution of like technology in the game a little bit, because for the longest time, if you shot a deer with a lighted knock, it wasn't eligible for the record book. And there was a big vote, and they changed that because they're like, well, it's not really, the lighted knock is not aiding you in the pursuit of the animal. It's helping, you know, it helps with the recovery maybe, or knowledge on shot placement, whatever. That's a whole other thing. But it's, you know, I think range finding sites, battery powered sites, doesn't make you eligible for the Pope and Young record book. So what I'm getting at with this is, I think Pope and Young lost a lot of people, or never had a lot of people from lack of their reach to a point, kind of. It's weird. And then, but maybe it's like, maybe that makes a comeback with the rules of ethics and what bow hunting should be, because they kind of have like, let me see if I pull it up and I'll read through some of it. It might be like a fun thing. Like, because I'm a Pope and Young measure. I have been since 2009. How many years is that?
Question mark?
Yeah, 2009. I was 19. So yeah, 2009. But it might not be a bad thing to kind of like go back on their rules of ethics with some of this technology stuff. And I'm not saying they're the know-all, be-all.
Yeah, and as hunters, I think we need to try to police. I mean, in my opinion, we need to police that ourselves, right? Like, what looks good to the
fair chase?
Yeah, what does that look like? What looks good to the general public? If those 80% of people that support hunting, right? Like, at what point in time do they say, "Dude, this isn't hunting anymore"?
Can I read? Want me to read the rules of fair chase? This might be a good way to segue off. This is the rules of fair chase. popeandyoung.org/fair chase. The term fair chase shall not include the taking of animals under the following conditions.
So this is bad if you do this.
Yeah. This is bad.
Yeah, not good.
Helpless in a trap, deep snow or water, or on ice. From any power vehicle or power boat, by jackhiding or shining at night, by the use of any tranquilizers or poisons. No poison darts, Doug. While inside escape-proof fenced enclosures. By the use of any power vehicle or power boats, by herding or driving animals, including use of aircraft to land alongside or to communicate with or direct a hunter on the ground. By the use of electronic devices for attracting, locating, and pursuing game, or guiding the hunter to such game, or by the use of bow and arrow to which any electronic device is attached, with the exception of lighted knocks and recording devices that cast no light towards the target and do not aid in range finding, sighting, or shooting the bow. Any other condition considered by the board of directors as unacceptable. The fair chase concept does, however, extend beyond the hunt itself. It is an attitude and way of life based in deep-seated respect for wildlife, for the environment, and for other individuals who share the bounty of this vast continent's natural resources. The Pope and Young Club strictly adheres to North American fair chase hunting under the North American model of wildlife conservation. Other countries, such as South Africa, do not operate under the same circumstances and have to act differently to maintain the health of their big game species, which we know that to be true firsthand. We recognize that hunting is essential to the sustainability of their game species, and we support efforts to bring bow hunting opportunities to countries where free-range animals may not exist. We also recognize how devastating it can be to big game species in foreign countries when citizens thousands of miles away demand other countries follow unattainable moral guidelines based on emotion and not sustainability. And that goes back to the whole conversation earlier. Based on emotion, not sustainability. I mean, kind of hard not to like that, you know? It's almost like where we restart everything, really, in the enhancement of technology, you know?
Yeah.
Are you a member of Pope and Young?
I'm not.
You fucking should be, with how important or how, into this you are. That seems like, I'm assuming you agreed with all that, which I think we all do, but.
Yeah, but the thing is so many people look at that and just say, boomer.
Yeah, and that's where Pope and Young lost a lot of people,
Yeah.
They did. Our Bucky Islandfeld, our buddy, is doing a really good job at, he's got a fun attitude about it, and he's like a really good spokesman. I think Pope and Young lacks a relevant spokesperson that like is relatable. You know what I mean? Like someone you're like, oh, that dude's cool.
Yeah.
Want to hear what these guys say. Scott Bakken
Yeah.
is the second vice president, our buddy from Dialed Archery, Scott Bakken. He's great dude. And he's good, but he's not, Scott's busy, He's doing that. He's got some great write-ups in the Ethic, but you only read those if you're a member and get the Ethic.
He also hates social media.
Yeah, he does.
So he won't be doing that.
Yeah. So, yeah, he would never be like he would never be the face and voice of like the new era for it because he's got a lot going on. And he's just not that type of guy to be like, I'll do it.
Yeah, he's the guy in the background no one knows about working.
But it's I was gonna see if they had the fair chase rules. Is that where we're at? Yeah.
That's where we are. Yep.
I mean, they can go in and they can update these and make all these things right. But as hunters, we have to adapt to this, right? And
yeah,
I don't think social media is helping it at all, right? Because people want to kill a big deer as easy as possible, as fast as possible, with the little as work as possible. So they're going to take every technology advancement they can get, right? And a lot of people have just said like, oh, Pope and Young, Boone and Crockett, like they don't mean anything anymore, right? Like,
well, they do though.
But a lot of people just discard them. There's tons of people that don't enter anything into them.
I gotta ask you something because if I don't ask you this, I'm gonna get shredded. Are you a member of any hunting organization?
Yeah, several like Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation,
Okay.
Pheasants Forever, Whitetails Unlimited.
Cool. Okay. I was gonna say if you weren't,
I mean that's where I spend like, and I basically donate, right? I go to these banquets and I spend like that, like for my giving, right? Or like donation stuff. Like I give back to the hunting world, right? And I buy licenses, and which I know I'm getting something out of that too. But like, I'm a part of.
How dare you take opportunity away from somebody else who could buy those licenses?
Yeah.
I buy them in Illinois with a give them away like candy.
I was gonna look for their equipment definitions. And I've read this before. A hunting bow. Hunting bow for big game shall be a longbow, flat bow, recurve bow, compound bow, or any combination of these designs meeting the following requirements or restrictions. So it just kind of breaks it down. I don't need to read all this shit. The following shall not be considered a hunting bow. Number 1, a crossbow.
Plain and simple.
Number 2, any device with a gun type stock or incorporating any device or mechanism that holds the bowstring or partial or full draw without the shooter's muscle power. Electronic or battery-powered devices shall not be attached to a hunting bow, with the exception of recording devices that cast no light towards target and do not aid range finding, sighting, or shooting the bow. No portion of the bow's riser, handle, or any track through channel or other device that attaches directly to the bow's riser shall contact, support, and or guide the arrow from a point rearward of the bow's brace height. It's interesting. Hunting arrow, there's a definition.
Broadhead, there's a definition.
So I think it's just something that people just have to think about, right? Like, where do they want to see hunting going, right? Is it And I think we have the ability as a culture to police ourselves. We don't need Pope Young to stand up and do it. And if they do it, They do it for sure. Yeah. But if they do it, they're not getting that support. Like just by saying like, hey, follow us, right? Like there's got to be guys.
Well, they're doing a lot. I know I'm not the spokesperson for Pope and Young. But
no, but you have a huge voice.
Yeah, they are doing
right?
a lot. And we have talked about, we've had Bucky on, talked about what Pope and Young does and all that. But I think the guidelines that they're doing this, like the fact that Pope and Young has equipment definitions on it, like, okay, you put a range finding sight on your bow. Pope and Young doesn't consider that a bow. So if you're like, I want a big record book animal and I want to put in the Pope and Young book, which is the standard for bow kill animals, it's not eligible. If you have a Garmin range finding sight, it's not a bow. That's what they're saying, right?
Counted.
Yep.
So you can't enter it in the record book if you have a Garmin sight. Does Garmin sight fall in the line of pushing the technology threshold? Depends who you ask, I don't know. Probably. Does it? I don't know. It's cool. It's a cool idea. It's kind of neat. If I'm in war and all I have is a bow, I goddamn hope I have that sight.
So
100%.
That'd be sick.
I mean, we just have to make a decision as a hunting culture. Like, where do we want this to go? Do we draw the line where at? Like, do we stop it, or do we recognize right now? I think we recognize as a society, social media, we got to recognize that that's an issue, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it is.
But then as a hunting community, do we recognize that, hey, I think we should draw the line at these cell cameras, and maybe it should be only 24 hours. Like you don't get real-time pictures, you get them every 24 hours. Delayed.
Yeah.
Is there a camera brand company that wants to stand up and say, hey, we're going to create a camera that only does that? And do guys like you stand behind that?
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Do we say, you know what? Like, no, this is bullshit. We need to stop this. Like, that's what it's going to take. Because if Pope and Young comes out and says this stuff, like, okay, but it's going to take a culture. It's going to take everybody. Just like you guys talked about a culture of not shooting little deer.
But if Joe Rogan talks about it, nobody's going to listen because nobody is going to take it into consideration.
Okay, so I get what you're saying.
Okay.
I get that.
But we talk about no one's going to... We're not influencing anybody. Same thing Rogan isn't.
No, I'm saying...
I'm kind of fucking with you.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying Rogan does influence people.
I know. I'm just going back to my mountain lion argument, how him on Rogan. Sorry, my ears are so ate up from gnats that I can't wear my headset.
I was wondering what the hell is going on. I thought your headset just
we
fell
turkey
off.
hunted in a gnat fest this morning, and my ears hurt so bad and my over-the-ear head.
I think I'm just going to stay home.
Dude.
You already bought a tag.
Rub gas behind your ears, man. I'm telling you. But
a little gas.
But it's
Shit's gas.
I get what you're saying, man. I'm just giving you shit.
Yeah.
But,
so
that's what you're saying.
Internet, why it sucks. Okay. Gear. All right, hunting gear. You guys have been on there when like a company introduces something new, right? Like all of a sudden they come out with this $150 sweatshirt and all the influencers are posting on why you should buy this hunting sweatshirt, right? Yeah. Like it is nonstop, like buy this. They're sending you text messages, they're sending you emails, right? Like for shit that you can't afford. I sold a sweatshirt online and in like a Facebook group or whatever, and the guy is like, it was $125. It was a deal for that guy. It was cheaper than brand new. He comes back and he's like, yeah, I can't do this until Friday, right? I get paid on Friday. And I'm thinking to myself, you're buying a fucking $125 used hunting sweatshirt that you got to wait till Friday that you can pay for?
Yeah.
Because social media tells you that you need that to kill stuff? Why? You don't.
Yeah.
There's hunting companies right now offering payment plans on their fucking camo.
Yeah, that's everywhere though now with just the internet in general.
And people are doing it. Because
it sucks, man, but that's happening everywhere, not just hunting, man. It's like
that is everywhere.
I'm making a payment on a truck.
Same thing.
You know what I mean? It's like
yeah, but now you can do it for anything. You can buy a fucking pair of gloves and make payments on it. It's like
I get I get the point.
That's all coming back to making money because you're gonna pay interest on it. You're gonna pay whatever.
That's why I'd be like, well, you can use code WCB15 at huntworthgear.com and own the hoodie outright brand new
and save you some money.
Dude, I just did exactly what
send
you
me
said
a
not
tip.
to do.
No, but okay.
Send me a selfie with you wearing it to win a free giveaway of a WCB hoodie to back that up. Or being assholes on purpose, but
But it's like, okay, social media is doing this, right? It's pushing out that you got to have everything brand new. You got to have.
Yeah.
But why, right? Like you don't need that to kill deer.
Trying
We
to
all
make
know,
money, man. That's all it is.
But we all fall for it, right? And like,
yeah, that's just human nature, though. You know, it's we live the hunting world, so it's easy to be like, dude, you don't need a Sitka hoodie. That's, I don't know how much they are or whatever. I'm assuming you're talking like Sitka or some top brand, but it's
like Nike shoes, you know, like everyone had to have Nike shoes back in the day, like the Jordans.
Yeah, you know, I just don't that's what they want to wear and spend their money on it.
Yeah, spend your money on it.
Yeah.
I'd rather spend my money on Huntworth than put in for another tag. You know? But you know, I get what you're trying to say, man. I just
it comes back to like, okay, social media in general. Dude, here's my advice: fucking delete the app. I still have mine. There is useful things I use it for. I don't doom scroll anymore. I use it for Facebook Marketplace, or if I need to look something up, right? Or communicate with somebody, right? Like that's what I have it for only. And I have what I believe is a healthy relationship with it. I'm not on my phone all the time checking shit, looking at videos of people getting knocked out all the time.
It's the algorithm. It just gets me.
That's not me.
For the record, they're pedophiles, so it makes it cool.
That's good.
Super cool.
But so delete the app, man. And my point is like why? Like share the photos with your friends. Like you don't need to be out there, dude. Okay, I'm not. I listened to a recent episode. I listen to all you guys' episodes, but like.
Till after this episode. He's leaving. You're getting truck back, man. Fuck those guys.
No, I wondered how. I'm actually glad we're having. If you guys agreed with me and everything, there wouldn't be any point to this, right?
This podcast would suck.
Yeah, it would be like dick.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys would be falling asleep, right? So no, I ain't worried about that. But
I see what you did there.
I don't know what I did there.
Doug's still
making fun of me for falling asleep.
That's how hurt Doug is still. He fell asleep on an episode, and he can just never get it out of his brain.
2 episodes.
2. One in Africa, of all places.
It's far away.
It's a long trip. The time difference
got me all fucked up.
It's the last day we were there.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. Sorry. This is what we do.
Yeah, and so I think if like you get rid of it, we don't need to post shit on there. Is my opinion, right? Like you can text it to your friends, you can text your buddies. I just don't think in the long run it's helping us. If Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok banned all hunting, I'm cool with that. Let's go to an app where it's only hunters. I'm okay with that too, right? Like you guys support a brand that does that, right? Like and Deercast, they have all that stuff there. Like put only hunters in that, right? Like why do we have this infatuation of having to show this to everybody, like having to prove ourselves? And like why do we have to be on Instagram? Why can't we just go on this where there's all hunters and we can have conversations like this and not have other people swoop? Like I don't understand the infatuation with that, right? So my thing is like just get rid of it. Try not posting your stuff. Like don't put it on there. Like I used to post everything on there. I don't know why the fuck I ever gave a shit to post anything on Facebook, online, anything, or statuses from 2008 that said, you know.
What do you say to the guy that doesn't? I'm just curious what your take is on this, because I know a guy.
Post dick pics?
Good friend. No, he hasn't posted any. Doug hasn't posted any. He's got them in his secret file.
My what?
Nothing.
OnlyFans?
Your dick. But
Your dick.
Oh.
That one.
Nice. What about the guy who doesn't post, so nobody knows about the big bucks he's hunting, and he's hoarding them all to himself? What about the guys from Chicago that still lease up all the ground and never posted anything, and because they don't want anyone else to know about their big bucks?
Yeah,
it's still going on.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and honestly, I don't know how much that is. Yeah. What do I say to that? Is I'm still not a fan of. Like they should let other guys. We need to share the land, right? And I get it. I'm not allowing everybody to hunt the property that I hunt. Like but there are people out there and they can hunt. But so my take on that would be like, if they are doing that, I hope they're sharing that 600 acres. It's not just to themselves.
You got an extra bedroom at your house I could live in for a while?
I got a basement, but you shoot bigger bucks.
You should let me live in there because you got all that space.
You shoot bigger bucks than I do. You want to be in my house.
I just need a spot to crash up for a bit.
What, you want to hang out or what?
Yeah. Drink some beer.
You know, it's like, well, then you got that big old house, all them extra bedrooms. Why don't you let all these Section 8
I'm not a fucking
guys live in it, you know?
I'm not for socialism. I get that.
I know.
But there comes to a point where like we're fucking greedy, and why?
Yeah, I get it, but man, if I had Jimmy John money,
it's a tough. I know it's a tough conversation, right?
It's a fun conversation.
It is.
It's fun.
Yeah, and I want to save. I'm saving money to buy property. Like I want to be able to, for all kinds of different reasons, but not strictly to kill big deer, as an investment for retirement, as a place to share with my family, all that stuff, right? There's many different reasons.
Lots of motivators, But hey, you know what? You buy 1,000 acres and you want to hunt it all to yourself and sublease the farm out and make money off the farm and kill turkeys and deer. You should be able to do that.
That's how this country was founded too. So it is a tough argument, right? Like the original was life. Maybe I get this wrong. Life, liberty. It was freedom. It used to be life, liberty, land. Maybe I'm getting that somewhere there. But they took the land out and they changed that. Our founding fathers did, right? Because they wanted people to be ability to go through and own land. That was when land was like,
life, liberty, land, as long as you're not leasing up everything in Iowa as a non-resident.
Exactly.
that was the
you fucking bitch.
Also, fuck you, faggot.
Yeah.
Who wrote this?
Oh my God.
Iowa's not even a state yet.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Iowa wasn't. So. There's some holes in that theory.
There's Herbie Hancock on here.
Yeah. Dude, it's a fun conversation. I appreciate the challenges. We don't agree on everything, but we shouldn't, because that's
I don't agree with my wife on everything, and I'm sure you don't either, right? Like you don't deal. There's nobody in the world that you agree with 100%. And if you do, then you need to fucking rethink that a little bit.
Yeah, you're probably kind of a cuck. Can I not say that? Is that a better word?
Wait, did you say
that? Weird. I don't know.
I think you just gotta be like. I think we have to come together as hunters, just like JJ said. We got to come together.
Be amongst them.
We gotta be amongst them. We gotta come together, right? And like, dude,
old JJ came back, huh?
TRK, he said, all right, we're gonna change this. We're not gonna allow animals to die and be extinct, right? And they changed everything. Like Boone and Crockett, Pope and Young, they're the reason we still have like the trophy hunting. For nobody understands the history of that, the reason we have trophy hunting was to create a system where large animals were valued. Right? And that saved hunting, and amongst people changing their minds, right? And I think we're in a similar position right now with technology and the social media and internet, everything in general, that we have a decision to make as a hunting culture, that if we can either say, well, people should they can go fuck off, right? I don't give a fuck what they think. I'm gonna do what I want to do. And then if they said that back in the 30s, we wouldn't be able to hunt right now.
Yeah, I get what you're saying for sure, but it's not gonna. I think see that this just goes round and round. Value on animals is always good for the animal. The big buck craze is putting value on animals. That's good for deer in general. It's good for elk. It's good for everything. Same way in Africa. There's no value on those animals. All those ranchers just kill them all off and run cattle, and they're beating none of them animals.
And there has to be some value on, right? Because there's been all kinds of examples in other countries where if there's not a value to them, then they're gone. Right? Yeah. So there has to be some value on there, right?
But I get it. I guess
like shed antlers, right? I don't think we should ban the sale of antlers. I think that would help the situation.
Yeah, there's and Pope and Young has a strong stance on that. Like I'm not because I'm a measure for Pope and Young and kind of like. It's kind of a representative, but I'm not a spokesperson for them. I'm not supposed to associate with the antler buyers.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Yeah, you signed like a thing on it.
I mean, you just think about like those guys. There's guys that make a living off of chasing antlers, shed hunting. They're leasing ground for shed hunting. Like they're trespassing for antlers. Like this whole antler craze.
Nothing's wrong with leasing ground for shed hunting, though. There's not. If you want to spend your money, I can't get on board with that.
If you're going out and collecting thousands of antlers just to go sell them, and you're leasing land to go sell antlers, I don't agree with that.
So it gets a little weirder if you're leasing it to find the antlers to sell them. But
yes,
I know guys that lease ground to shed hunt it, and I've never even thought about having a problem with that. To me, I'm like, you lease ground to shed hunt it?
Sure.
Like you're bizarre.
But
that's insane.
But if they're doing it to sell it. Right, if they're like, that's where I have a problem with it.
I don't have I don't know. Like,
oh, you're saying like they lease to shed hunt, but someone else leases to hunt.
No, I don't even. It just gets into a weird thing because that's so situational. it's so situational that it's hard to like argue. You'd have to have some dude in here who's like, I'm a commercial antler seller, and you know what I mean? I don't know.
I just think that's another step that if you take away antlers, selling antlers, I don't know how many people actually hunt to shoot a world record deer, but I think that's a big buck craze, right? Like there's a lot of misconceptions that big deer will make you money. You can sell at racks. You can make money off being an influence star. I'm just here to tell a lot of people that's in a saturated market. It's very, very difficult, and you're gonna have to work really hard to do it. And it's going to be tough to do it. So all the people who are like toes you step on and all the throats that you cut to try to get there, I don't think it's like.
Yeah, I think the percentage of people who are like have that mindset is very slim, and they just don't have an understanding of hunting. And they realize how hard it is. Like my goal every year is to kill the most mature animal I can, and normally they have the biggest racks. That's good. Like I killed 2 bucks last year. One had a good rack on him, but not the biggest rack, but probably the oldest deer, one of the oldest bucks I've probably shot. Big old heavy body thing. I got like 4 hernias off him, so there's a trophy.
Little trophies.
Little internal bleeding for the guts, but it's all good. Anyway, it goes round and round, dude. It goes round and round. This was fun. We'll have to do this again. I enjoyed the thought-provoking conversations. Because that's what it's going to do. This episode's going to get people going, I don't know how I feel about that. Oh, fuck, Kurt's wrong, or you're right, or fuck Doug.
A lot of people thinking.
A lot of fuck Doug.
Well,
a lot of that.
Yeah, so the biggest thing is just getting people thinking, think differently about this. And if you disagree with what I'm saying, I don't give a shit. Okay, I'm going to still do my own thing.
Fuck them.
Fuck them. Well, I mean, but if you care about things what I'm saying and you want to think differently about it, then I don't know, you can make your own choices, right? But I know what I'm going to do, and that's what, I'm just here to share that message. On the way down here, my wife was like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Right? Like, like you're spending a night away from your family to go do this. Like, why? And I'm like, well, I just
to put on social media. That's why.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Tables
That's
have
why
turned.
he's doing it.
Follow my new page.
my new page.
I'm back, baby.
I'm back.
I'm selling $125 hoodies, offering payment plans.
Used.
Used.
That would blow my mind if you did that.
That would have been a great twist.
I would be like, bravo, dude.
Touche.
I'm actually here to promote my new clothing line.
You just Shutter Island me. Holy
Dude,
shit.
come on. You missed a giant business opportunity there.
No, I'd give
that would have been a mind fuck from left field.
I'm making a comeback, baby.
See, now I'm not going to trust anybody else on the podcast that we don't actually know that, because
some random fuck like me.
Well, now someone's going to pull that on us.
Oh, shit. We shouldn't say
I
that.
gave him ideas.
That would have been gold, though, huh? To get us all worked. I'm just kidding. I don't give a shit about any of this. I'm launching my new clothing line starting June 1st. Oh, man. I would have been like, wow, bravo. Yeah, we'll promote it.
Mic drop.
Hey, what up?
That would have been sweet. And also, like,
Got you, bitch, hunting.
super funny. Gotyoubitch.com. I'm selling used Sitka gear. I'm getting it because I get a discount through my Instagram page. I'm wiping my ass with it, and you're getting it for 30% off.
It's called Second Light. It's for used First Light shit.
It's called After Dark.
Oh, shit.
Shit stained First Light clothes.
Evening.
Oh, that's fucking great, dude. Oh, that's really funny. Well, that was fun.
It's been good.
Yeah.
Want to close out with anything?
I think I've said plenty. Hopefully people are still listening to this. They made it to the end. Or,
dude.
I don't care if they did.
People are already like,
fun.
fuck Doug anyway, so.
Yeah, they forgot
I'm
about
sorry.
that.
I ruined your episode.
Not that I recall.
Yeah.
You're all right,
Doug, while we're recording this, it's turkey season still relevant. We going to kill some birds in the morning?
Yes.
Oh.
Both of us.
Wait, is the mustache tingling? Are you making a prediction?
Let me get one of them hairs.
Yeah, let me
I'll say one. Just keep it on your face until in the morning.
Yeah.
I'll
put one of them hairs in my pocket.
Satchel.
I'll give you a hair tomorrow.
Would you?
Can I pull it out? Can I pick? I want the one right under the right
It needs
nostril.
to fall out, like, choose.
Oh, you just like
it chooses
you grab it and then
it chooses.
oh,
That happens?
interesting.
Yep.
Okay.
That just means your upper lip is going bald.
So if you grab your mustache like this and stroke it down to the end, one will come out.
It might. It happens.
It does?
Why is there a long black one in there?
Missed that one.
pulls out his girlfriend's hair. It's like 3 feet long. What the hell?
I'll find one.
All right. I'll take
It's
that.
like, oh my god.
All right.
You're a magician.
Thanks for being here, Doug. It's good to have you back, man, from your absence.
Yeah.
For my one episode, yeah, I'm glad to be back.
Took a month vacation. What happened
You
to you?
sound like I was gone for years.
A couple things people have to look forward to is your week of Africa, South Africa camp is first. So Doug leading episodes from South Africa on his own.
Oh boy.
You're welcome in advance.
And then Eric will lead episodes on his own.
I got the good crew, the killer crew.
Shit. I got Austin Chandler in my crew.
Whatever.
Okay. Eric, good to see you, dude.
Good to see you too.
Always looking sharp.
Okay.
Compliment me back.
You look good.
All right. Thanks, man, for being here.
Yeah,
Thanks, everybody, for
coming.
tuning in. Have a good rest of your week. We love you. Go shoot your bow. Peace.